Chun Yin, the world's strongest player of the game, Calamity, possessing the unique class, Word Spirit Saint. Unexpectedly, the game merged with reality and humans' worldwide awakened abilities. He directly inherited the game's talent, his words become reality. Want to grab a meal together tomorrow? Chun Yin sent the message. The recipient was Xia when the campus bell of Linhai University. Suddenly the other party showed, typing. Chun Yin felt a bit nervous. But to his surprise, the first thing he saw was a screenshot. The screenshot showed his own brother. How should I reject this simp? Sorry, wrong person. She didn't even bother to retract the previous message. Chun Yin, let me be honest, stop simping for me. Although you are indeed good-looking, who would be interested in a lazy shootin' who only plays games and reads novels? People should know their place, understand? Chun Yin didn't reply. He directly blocked her. So what if he's a gamer and a shootin'? Does reading novels bother you? Did I eat your rice? Actually, Chun Yin was very popular, especially online. Xiaowen didn't know that Chun Yin was pursued by many girls every day like right now. Brother, why haven't you replied to my message? Will you accompany me on a call tonight? Don't force me to beg you, brother. You received a transfer of 1314. Today, big sister is wearing black stockings. Want to see my legs? Chun Yin, legs are okay to see. Image. Are they nice? Big sister can also send you worn stockings. Give me your address. Chun Yin, next time maybe. All messages from girls. Of course, Chun Yin is not a player. These girls are all acquaintances from the game Calamity. This is a massively popular online game with over 100 million players. And Chun Yin is the strongest player in Calamity. What does it mean to be the strongest? When millions of monster hordes, calamity beasts, and primordial monsters gather to deal a devastating blow to the player's. He alone stood guard at the city gate, slaughtering through a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood, single-handedly turning the tide, shocking the world. He possesses the world's only class, Word Spirit Saint. His words become reality, and he has countless fans worldwide. His ID is silence. He is a sacred monument in the hearts of millions of players, someone to be worshipped. Qi Ling, the Flame Queen, a goddess with millions of followers, confessed to Chun Yin with a sea of flames. It is rumored that her real identity is the beloved daughter of a national defense general. The Ice Queen Luo Shui, with her supreme ice ability, traveled through 10,000 miles of forbidden land just to retrieve a rainbow dress flower for Chun Yin. Legend says she comes from the renowned Zhao family of martial arts, a prodigy at 18. In others' eyes, she is an aloof female sword immortal, but to him, she is just a lively and adorable little sister, Xiaoqi, who wants to cling to him every day. Rumors say she is the heiress of the global top 100 Su Corporation. In this game, there are simply too many people who love Chun Yin. Countless wealthy women wanted to pin him down on the bed. However, Chun Yin always adhered to a principle: online dating is unreliable. So he seriously pursued Xia when hoping for a real-life relationship. But just now, Xiaowen insulted him as a lazy shootin'. Actually, Xiaowen didn't know that Chun Yin had become rich by playing games, buying his own villa and luxury car with assets worth hundreds of millions. All of this was earned by him, a college student on his own. Now it seems that real-life romance isn't that great either. So let it be. Boom. A red lightning flashed outside the window. Chun Yin went to the balcony, pulled open the curtain, and was stunned by what he saw. The sky was torn apart, a blood moon hung in the sky. Crows cawed, wind howled. It suddenly became like the apocalypse. At the same time, golden text appeared before Chun Yin's eyes. The game Calamity has merged with the real world. Monster deployment complete. Detected that your character possesses the unique talent Word Spirit Saint and the Blood Moon Calamity. Countdown 30 days. What? The game merged with the real world. Chun Yin was dumbfounded at first. But as a shootin' who had read many novels, he quickly understood what it meant. It meant that in the real world, monsters' dungeons from the game would appear. People could unlock gene locks, gain supernatural powers, and soar through the sky, or die. Even more outrageous, he had inherited the game's talent, Word Spirit Saint. This was the most broken and powerful talent in Calamity, unique in the world. It was this talent that had set Chun Yin on the path to becoming the Supreme King. Really, for a moment he still doubted if he was dreaming. Attribute panel. Name: Chun Yin, talent Word Spirit Saint, unique gene, level 1, first order gene, energy 0. He tried to summon the attribute panel, and unexpectedly a light screen appeared before him. Chun Yin was stunned, exactly the same as in the game. There are 99 gene levels. After reaching max level 1, can unlock the gene lock and ascend. Gene energy equals experience points. So he retained the talent from the game, but everything else starts from 0. The subtitle prompt appeared again. Please draw your initial word spirit. Normally, word spirits are unlocked gradually according to one's gene level. But when obtaining this talent, he could ignore the level and directly draw one. Even extremely dangerous word spirits could be used immediately. Many profound golden characters appeared before Chun Yin. He pointed his index finger forward, and instantly golden light burst forth like a star exploding. Sequence 121, Word Spirit Judgment Golden Sword has awakened. Chen Yin took a deep breath, unable to suppress his joy. This was a high-risk word spirit that could only be learned in the late game. How powerful is the judgment? As long as within the domain the golden sword hangs in the air, it can decide the life and death of any creature. Once Chen Yin used this word spirit to repel 10 directions of demons and was worshipped by thousands. Having this word spirit at the start, isn't he invincible? Suddenly a female scream came from outside. The neighbor's cry. Without a second thought, Chen Yin turned and jumped from the second-floor window. Outside, he found several jet-black demon dogs with blood-red pupils attacking the neighbor. The monsters from the game have infiltrated reality. They are attacking humans indiscriminately. Let's test the word spirit's power on these monsters. Lucy was just Chen Yin's neighbor, a young woman in her early 20s, a flower-like maiden with a sweet voice and exceptional diligence. She had been watering the flowers and plants in the yard when suddenly the stainless steel gate outside let out a harsh, screeching roar. Turning her head, she saw a massive black dog outside the gate, its sharp teeth biting into the railing, hot drool dripping onto the ground. It was terrifying. She initially thought it was someone else's pet dog and figured she could just shoo it away, so she grabbed a drying pole and walked forward. But to her surprise, the terrifying black dogs multiplied. 2, 3, 4. Their pupils gleamed with eerie light as they gnawed at the stainless steel with their sharp teeth, producing a constant grating sound. Then something even more hair-raising occurred. The stainless steel was actually being bent by the sheer force of their bites. With a clatter, the drying pole rolled to the ground. Lucy, startled, fell to the ground, her back chilled and her whole body trembling. M.O. Monster. Finally, the courtyard gate was completely torn apart. The pitch-black hounds, drooling, strode into the yard on their thick limbs. Trapped in the middle, Lucy was like a lamb surrounded by beasts. Sister Lu. A figure rushed in from the side. Xiaochun. You. Staring at the youth standing before her, Lucy's heart was filled with shock. In her eyes, this neighbor was a homebound otaku who liked to stay indoors, playing games rarely seen on ordinary days. She never expected that at such a dangerous moment he would be the first to rush out and protect her. Chen Yin glanced over. They were just a few low-level first-stage monsters. He hadn't expected these creatures to have already infiltrated reality, so quickly attacking humans indiscriminately. Time to test the power of the word spirit. A few obscure syllables escaped his lips like incantations carved on ancient stone tablets. Sequence 121. Word Spirit Judgment Golden Sword. In the darkness, a pair of dazzling golden eyes suddenly lit up, their gleam carrying indifference and majesty, like a sovereign overlooking all. This was a domain-type ability centered on oneself. Any living being within the domain could be granted life or death at his will. Roar! Roar! The several demonic hounds could no longer hold back. They charged in unison, even more ferocious than wolves on the prairie. Their teeth, strong enough to bite through steel, could crush a human skull in an instant. Lucy screamed in fright. But what followed left her forever unforgettable. The several demonic hounds were torn apart in midair without warning, then dissipated into black smoke. How could this be? Was she dreaming? Why did the boy next door, who usually only played games, suddenly have superpowers? The golden gleam in Chen Yin's pupils quickly faded. Using Judgment Golden Sword on these small fries was like using a sledgehammer to crack a nut. It was originally a super high-risk word spirit meant for powerful monsters, even capable of fighting against demonic-level creatures. Instant kills were naturally without suspense. Gene Energy, 10 Gene Energy, 10 Gene Energy, 10. Chen Yin directly leveled up to 3. Killing monsters to gain Gene Energy and level up. This basic strengthening mechanism remained unchanged. Are you okay, Sister C? I'm fine. Holding Chen Yin's hand as she stood up, Lucy's legs were still weak, and she nearly fell into his arms. An overwhelming sense of security. Xiaochun, what are you? And what are these monsters? Chen Yin explained. Sister Lu, you must have seen the prompt too, right? Maybe the world is about to change. After settling his neighbor's sister down, Chen Yin continued to assess the situation. Opening his phone, he saw that the trending news had already been completely occupied. Game merging with reality. Too absurd, but you have to believe it. Multiple attacks by monsters in the city. A great mutation of the world. Where should humanity in-game talents can actually be inherited? Multiple players possess supernatural powers. This is no coincidence. Portals appearing in many places in the city, monsters suspected to enter through them. Supernaturals are urged to guard the portals. Chen Yin skimmed through the news. These were all low-level monsters, yet they had already caused a huge impact on the human world. But he knew the real terror was the Blood Moon Calamity that would descend in a month. The Blood Moon Calamity was the first large-scale disaster in the game. It had caught players off guard, and a capital city with millions of players was completely slaughtered. Players had to resurrect countless times before they barely managed to defend. But in reality, there was no resurrection. Death was final. Chun Yin's primary goal was clear: to grow as strong as possible before the blood moon Calamity struck, to protect himself and those important to him. Wait. He had obtained in-game talents, so the other players must have too. He absolutely could not reveal his identity, or else the fangirls and wealthy women would come knocking, and he couldn't handle that. The class group chat had already exploded. Luo, oh my god, are those in the news real? Luo Qingqing, will those monsters from the game appear in our reality? Anyone who played the game speak up. Ma Dawei, how I played. I've already awakened the flame master talent. Su Song, awesome. Bro, can I cling to your thigh? Take me along. Jiang Chun, I had the Sword Emperor talent in the game, and I've awakened too, ha. Triple X, Sword Emperor. Damn, that sounds awesome. Triple X, bro, where are you now? Can I come find you? I'm so scared. Messages were flooding in at dozens per second, and Chun Yin couldn't keep up. But he could glean one piece of information. Those with talents were already gaining an upper hand status, and this trend would only become more pronounced. Ordinary people without talents would likely become cannon fodder. The times had changed utterly. Chun Yin dared not imagine the uproar if his identity were revealed. Perhaps it wouldn't just be a few women, the entire world would probably fight over him. With a cold expression, Chun Yin pressed the answer button. Chun Yin, where are you? There are so many monsters on the street. With a cold expression, Chun Yin pressed the answer button. Chun Yin, where are you? There are so many monsters on the street. I know you played that game too. You must have awakened your abilities, right? Come protect me right now. I can give you a chance to be my boyfriend. Xiaowen had just stepped out of the bar. She wore a burgundy short skirt revealing her fair thighs, exuding a seductive charm, her intoxicated face flushed with color. Embracing her was a newly acquainted rich second-generation heir. Baby, you'll take you to the hotel, hey. But after just a few steps, the heir's head was suddenly caught by a large mouth, leaving him dangling in midair. Oh, help, ugh. Xiaowen was instantly terrified, her drunkenness completely gone. It dawned on her that the game merging with reality was indeed real. She couldn't care less about the rich heir desperately fleeing to hide behind a corner garbage bin, hurriedly trying to make a phone call for help. Who can save me? Oh right, Chun Yin. He can do it. Xiaowen immediately dialed Chun Yin's number, and as soon as it connected she exclaimed, there are monsters all around me, help me. They'll give you a chance to be my boyfriend. Okay. Chun Yin hung up the phone. On the other end, Xiaowen couldn't help but smile. Great, the devoted admirer is still the same devoted admirer. She didn't expect that such a recluse would have his moment to shine, so she decided to make use of him. Having been humiliated earlier, now he was shamelessly coming to protect her. He was just another pathetic soul who had never encountered a woman. If she had to blame someone, it would be her own beauty, huh? Wait. Xiaowen suddenly realized something was off. Chun Yin hadn't asked where she was, how would he come? Outside, the sound of people's screams continued. The street was in chaos, and she even saw someone being torn to pieces not far away, causing Xiaowen's heart to... She called Chun Yin again. The number you have dialed is temporarily unavailable. Please try again later. He blocked me. Anger, confusion, shock, disbelief, and fear all intertwined in Xiaowen's heart. She never imagined that such a mere devoted admirer could have a temper. What made her even angrier was that Chun Yin had turned around and was chatting in the class group with several girls actively fawning over him. Chun Yin, remember this. One day you'll regret it. In the face of the chaotic world situation, the Dragon Kingdom's officials responded as quickly. Emergency notifications flooded in via text messages. Drones equipped with loudspeakers and police cars were broadcasting throughout the city. Important notice: all residents are urged to stay at home and not venture out casually. Important notification: those with extraordinary powers should contact local law enforcement as soon as possible to help protect the public. Please stay away from the suddenly appearing teleportation arrays in the city, as they are extremely likely to spawn monsters. Please seek safe places to take refuge. Repeating once more. Chun Yin knew why these low-level monsters appeared in the city. It was because there were teleportation arrays connecting the main city to the monster regions. Monsters could enter the main city through the teleportation arrays, and people could also use the arrays to enter the monster regions at the fastest speed. Chun Yin immediately formulated an action plan. He had no intention of being a volunteer, nor would he hide at home. Instead, he actively planned to enter the monster region outside the main city through the teleportation array to level up and grow stronger, so he could truly face the terrifying catastrophe later on. Chun Yin set off immediately. In the villa area where he lived, there was exactly one teleportation array. At this moment, dozens of law enforcement personnel were fully armed, guarding the entrance and preventing anyone from getting close. Attention! New monsters have appeared, open fire. The police sirens blared and gunfire erupted. The deafening gunshots nearly shattered the tranquility of the night. Chun Yin also arrived nearby, and indeed saw a teleportation array resembling a chaotic vortex with monsters occasionally crawling out from within. Most of them were level 10 monsters, and conventional weapons could still cause effective damage to them. Bang 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 bang. Both sides were fiercely exchanging fire amidst a sea of bullets and monster corpses. How could he get past this? Chen Yin was troubled. But time waits for no one, and he was unwilling to just wait any longer and decided to charge through. Word Spirit, Judgment Gold Sword, capable of cutting through all things including bullets, air, superpowers, and even souls. Stop. A striking female law enforcer stopped Chen Yin, who she seemed to be responsible for evacuating the surrounding crowd. Don't you see it's dangerous here? Hurry up. Don't get any closer. Chen Yin looked troubled. Sister, I want to go. Are you trying to get yourself killed? The world has suddenly changed, and we have suffered many casualties. We can no longer take care of ordinary citizens. Hurry back home and wait for the official announcement. A male law enforcer nearby shook his head. These wealthy people living in the villa area have no common sense. They still wander outside at a time like this, not knowing to hide properly. You've worked hard, sister, yeah. The female law enforcer wiped her sweat. It's fine. Oh, I can only do some guiding and evacuating work. Every life saved is a victory. Just then an explosive roar suddenly came from ahead. Boom. The ground trembled as well. The sky ahead was almost illuminated by flames in an instant. It was a howitzer. Someone ahead had already used a howitzer. The terrifying shockwave forced the female law enforcer to stagger back 2 steps. When she fixed her gaze, her pupils suddenly constricted. What? What kind of monster is that? As the smoke cleared, a giant tiger with black scales appeared before everyone. The giant tiger was about 2 meters tall, its size comparable to 3 adult men, and its black scales were as hard as armor. Under the bombardment of the howitzer, it was completely unharmed. Chen Yin's brow furrowed slightly. This creature was known to him, one of the newbie killers, named Black Scale Tiger, level 50 of the first rank. It was a mid-tier existence among all first-rank monsters. And he was currently only level 3 of the first rank, completely crushed in terms of level. Even ordinary talent extraordinary beings would only be slaughtered. Of course, those ordinary enforcers with firearms would pose no threat to it whatsoever. Run. Without waiting for Chen Yin to act, the female law enforcer grabbed him and ran back. Hurry and find a place to hide. Don't go out casually, do you hear me? After saying that, she rushed back to the front line, getting back to work. Explosive shields. Move the explosive shields forward. Snipers, shoot it in the eyes. Don't stop the fire suppression. People poured almost all their firepower onto the black-scaled giant tiger, but it merely produced clanging sounds, failing to inflict any substantial damage. However, finally, enraged, the giant tiger launched its first wave of attack. It pounced forward with lightning speed, knocking down a group of law enforcers holding explosive shields, its terrifying fangs shredding the shields apart. Damn it, where's the reinforcement? The captain clenched the walkie-talkie tightly, his teeth gritted, sweat pouring down his face. Zhouya, has the crowd been evacuated? Report evacuation is complete. Just after the captain asked, he saw a young boy in a thin t-shirt run past the warning line. You evacuated nothing. Stop that kid immediately now. Everyone else fall back, repeat, fall back. We are no match for this monster. Zhouya turned her head and saw that the boy she had just chased away had dashed into the warning line. She was instantly furious and ran over with all her might to stop the boy, but she never expected that she couldn't even outrun him. The boy was as agile as the wind. Stop. What do you want? Stop him, hurry up. Damn it, is this kid out of his mind? Chen Yin ignored all obstacles. He dashed past the armed forces, using the explosive shield as a springboard to leap onto the head of the black-scaled giant. Word Spirit, Judgment Gold Sword. Obscure syllables turned into invisible blades, slicing out dozens of strikes in an instant. By the time people reacted, the boy had already charged into the teleportation array, disappearing from sight. Meanwhile, the terrifying monster, which could not be resisted, shattered into countless pieces, turning into black smoke that dissipated in the air. Everyone was dumbfounded. The scene fell into absolute silence. Everyone stared blankly at the portal, momentarily lost for words. Only one officer, pinned to the ground by a riot shield, unaware of what had happened, continued to yell loudly. Help! Help! But after shouting for a while, he suddenly realized the eerie silence outside and slowly poked his head out. He noticed that the terrifying monster had vanished, and all his colleagues stood there dumbfounded, as if they had seen a ghost. Wah! What? What's going on? Where's the monster? It was instantly killed by a young man. What? Zhouya felt a lump in her throat, the shock in her eyes refusing to fade for a long time. She now understood that the young man was no ordinary person, but a player of the game Cataclysm, a true transcendent. If not for him, countless colleagues would have died just now. Thankfully he was there, and she had actually scolded him and tried to drag him away. Now thinking back, she felt her cheeks burning, at a loss for what to do. Too powerful. Is this the power of a transcendent? No. The captain shook his head. I've seen a few volunteers. They too possess transcendent power, but none of them are this strong. This person is an exception. But why did he enter the teleportation array? Zhouya couldn't help but ask. Ambition. The captain's eyes showed admiration. His primary goal is probably not to protect others, but to make himself stronger first. In the future, only sufficiently powerful transcendents will be able to confront those formidable monsters. This world is about to change. Zhouya finally realized and nodded. Should we check his records to make it easier to recruit him later? No, we must not restrict their development in any way. In the future, they will be the main force maintaining world peace. After Chen Yin passed through the teleportation array, he smoothly arrived outside the main city. After the fusion of game and reality, Linhai City, where Chen Yin lived, was also divided into 4 city gates, and the areas beyond the gates were infested with monsters. Killing that first-order level 50 black-scale tiger gave him a full 100 points of genetic energy. Level 10. Upon reaching level 10, Chen Yin successfully comprehended a new word spirit. Sequence 10, Word Spirit, Flash Thunder. One of the basic word spirits capable of summoning lightning strikes against enemies, quite practical. At the same time, his attributes also changed. Name Chen Yin. Talent Word Spirit Saint Unique. Gene level 10 First Order. Physique 10 effects Strength and Physical Endurance. Agility 10 effects Speed and Reaction. Transcendence 10 effects All Transcendent Powers. Normally, all talents increase all attributes by 1 point per level, so having a level advantage provides a huge edge. What Chen Yin needed to do was simple: level up. So many first-order monsters. Looking around, the aura of monsters was everywhere. It was still unknown whether these monsters would respawn after being killed, but first come first served. They were all experience points. Of course, high-risk word spirits with terrifying power, like Judgment Golden Sword, were definitely not something Chen Yin could use casually. First, the consumption was too high. He couldn't use it many times. Second, he could easily be recognized by players familiar with him in the game, especially those fans. When he played Cataclysm before, a wealthy woman once offered $1 million cash bounty for Chen Yin's real-world contact information. No help for it. In the game, he was impervious to all approaches, so many tried to connect through reality. Later, the price was driven up to over 10 million. As long as someone provided Chen Yin's real address, name, appearance, and other information, they could claim 10 million from the wealthy woman. Terrifying. Boys really need to protect themselves online. Being too sought after is also dangerous. Fortunately, Chen Yin had always been careful to protect his information. He even used virtual IPs to go online and spent a fortune building the most secure network firewall just to avoid being exposed. He feared that once exposed, it would directly ruin his normal real life. And now even more so, he couldn't afford to be exposed. At best, he would be fought over by wealthy women who admired him. At worst, he could be contended for by nations or even assassinated. Because in the game, national wars would be unlocked later. Chen Yin's existence would undoubtedly put immense pressure on other countries, making him a target that had to be. No use thinking about that now. Chen Yin had already started the process of pulling monsters. The most efficient way to level up was to gather a wave of monsters and kill them all at once, commonly known as wave clearing. Goblins, netherwolves, silver-toothed snakes. All familiar first-order mobs. Chen Yin sprinted in a circle and attracted over a dozen of them. Word Spirit. Flash Thunder. The obscure syllables transformed into thunderbolts in the night sky, striking without warning. Boom. The ground exploded into blooms. Several first-order monsters were instantly reduced to ashes. Gene Energy 10. Gene Energy 10. Gene Energy 10. Congratulations. Obtained equipment, Refined Iron Bracer, common. Congratulations. Obtained equipment, Golden Steel Leggings, uncommon. Chen Yin was overjoyed. Equipment dropped. He didn't expect that killing monsters in reality would also drop equipment, exactly like the game's mechanics. Equipment is divided into 7 grades: common, uncommon, rare, epic, legendary, mythic, and celestial. The better the equipment, the lower the drop rate. Just now, killing a group of mobs actually dropped an uncommon piece of equipment. Pretty lucky. Refined Iron Bracer, common. Defense 10. Attack 0. Attribute bonus none. Special effect none. Golden Steel Leggings, uncommon. Defense 30. Attack 0. Attribute bonus Physique 5. Special effect none. Chen Yin directly equipped both items. Equipment can automatically merge with the current attire, causing no sense of burden and only adds attributes. Defense 40, Physique 5. Chen Yin's attribute panel also changed. Chen Yin Word Spirit Saint Unique. Gene level First Order, level 14. Physique 19. Agility 14. Transcendence 14. Attack bonus 0. Defense bonus 40. Combat Power Assessment 8 stars. Of course, this so-called combat power assessment only accounts for current attributes and does not factor in other elements. If his high-level word spirits were taken into account, that combat power assessment would probably be incalculable. After a short rest, he opened his phone to check on his classmate's situation. This is awesome. Just killed a monster and got a mage talent card, haha. Mobs can also drop talents. Is that for real? Doesn't that mean everyone can become transcendent? Boo-hoo, any big brother willing to carry me through monsters. I'll warm your bed later. Big shots, please carry me QA. A bunch of noobs, I'm already level 7. Damn, level 7. Dude, you're too awesome. Are you just constantly grinding mobs? I've never seen such a high level. I doubt anyone in our school is more badass than you. Can I add you as a I'm begging you. Chun Nian remained silent. If he said in the group that he was already level 14, his phone would probably explode instantly. Compared to the class group of novice rookies, those veteran gaming groups were entirely different. Almost every player who had experienced Calamity immediately thought of level. They also understood that the era of players had arrived. Only by becoming stronger could they be more competitive and survive greater calamities. Level 7 magic swordsman seeking a team absolutely powerful looking for a fast leveling group. Level 6 elf enchantress beautiful voice sweet looks ample support seeking a strong player for fast kills. Definitely a thrilling ride. Buying talent cards and common equipment message me for fair prices. Level 10 Chi master carrying for kills message me physical compensation available. Preference for mature women. Chun Nian was a lurker. Even when speaking in the group, he would never reveal his identity. After all, he was the god of all players in Calamity, known as Buyu. A single misstep could lead to his real identity being traced through social accounts, which would be troublesome. Better to continue leveling up. The primary goal was to keep raising his level. If he encountered a field boss, that would be even better, as defeating one usually yielded generous rewards. These included, but were not limited to, rare equipment skill scrolls and evolution cores. For 2 whole days, Chun Nian roamed the wild slaying monster. At sunset, level 35, Chun Nian's level had skyrocketed to 35. His leveling method was the most efficient and the most sustainable. He would pull a wave of monsters, then annihilate them in one strike. Although each use of word spirit consumed his inner supernatural power, leveling up replenished it, achieving a balance. Others would tire and rest. He didn't need to. After leveling up, several more word spirits were unlocked, and his combat ability soared. Sequence 9 Eagle Eye. Sequence 19 Flame Burst. Sequence 33 Wine Demon Slash. At the same time, Chun Nian also possessed a full set of fine-grade equipment, greatly enhancing his attributes. Chun Nian Word Spirit Saint Unique. Gene level First Order, level 35. Physique 46. Agility 42. Supernatural 42. Attack bonus 110. Defense bonus 260. Combat power evaluation 25 stars. With his current defense, the attacks of low-tier first-order monsters could be completely ignored, causing no damage whatsoever. Chun Nian no longer needed to activate word spirits to kill monsters. He could rely on physical attacks, making the process much easier. This was the advantage. 2 days had passed since the game Calamity merged with reality, and the city had largely stabilized. Gifted supernaturals were either recruited by the security forces, became private enforcers for companies, or ventured outside to level up. According to Chun Nian's observations, anyone above level 20 was now treated like royalty. The big companies casually offered salaries of over $500,000, but Chun Nian knew that working for others would only slow down his progress, limiting his future potential. Hey buddy, are you out here killing monsters too? Chun Nian was sitting on the ground enjoying the breeze when a 3-person team approached. 2 men and 1 woman. The leading man smiled and said, "We're also players of Calamity, and our levels aren't low. Want to team up?" "No thanks, I prefer to work alone," Chun Nian refused flatly. In a team, experience points were split evenly. Since he could kill monsters effortlessly on his own, why buddy, being a lone wolf isn't easy these days. In reality, you can't respawn if you die. Think it over carefully. Thanks, but no. Seeing that Chun Nian was unmoved, the man signaled to the woman beside him. "My big brother here is a level 21 magic swordsman. Teaming up with us is your fortune. You'll level up fast and take on powerful monsters." The woman said with pride, believing that mentioning level 21 would make it impossible for him to refuse. Who didn't know that anyone above level 20 was a top-tier X? Not interested. You. What an ungrateful brat. The woman was furious, never expecting such arrogance. Unable to persuade Chun Nian, they had no choice but to leave. After walking a short distance, the woman couldn't help but spit and start complaining. "What a jerk. Who does he think he is? Forget it, we can take that boss with the 3 of us. I wanted to use that kid as cannon fodder, but he was too sharp. The more I think about it, the angrier I get. After we finish the boss, let's go back and kill that guy. The real world is in chaos now anyway. No one can stop us. Maybe we can snatch something useful." Haha, sis has a point. The 3 entered the forest, advancing cautiously toward their target. Ahead stood a 5-meter turtle tree man. In Calamity, its official name was Calamity Trant. Its branches could transform into swords, piercing armor, boasting terrifying attack and defense. Its level was a staggering First Order 70, making it a high-tier First Order monster. As a boss-class monster, it also had additional attribute boosts. Extremely difficult. If they could defeat it, the rewards would be unimaginable. We're only just over level 20. Can we really beat this level 70 Trant? Suming chuckled, forgot who I am. In the game, I soloed this boss. Its attack pattern is simple. We just need to wear it down from a distance. If rare items drop, we'll be rich. The other two's eyes lit up. They followed Su Ming, who was a big shot in the game, sure to lead them to glory. Charge. The three attacked simultaneously. At first, the Calamity Trance attack pattern matched their expectations. But gradually they began to struggle. Because in reality, every action consumed physical stamina, unlike in the game. They had forgotten that this was real combat, not clicking a mouse. Oh. The woman's thigh was pierced by a steel-like branch. No. We can't win. Oh. Another man was brutally flung away, a bloody gash across his chest as he crashed to the ground. Su Ming stood alone, his weapon twisted away. The second difference between game and reality. Injuries significantly impaired movement, unlike the cold health bar in the game. For the first time, the three felt the terror of death. Just then a slender young figure leaped down from a tree, standing before them. If you lack strength, don't court death, Chen Yin said expressionlessly, his tone calm. It's him. That guy from earlier. The woman was stunned. Not only had this person been watching from the shadows, but he dared to show himself. Before them was a level 70 boss-level monster. The three of us together couldn't defeat it. Was he here to die? Having stumbled upon a field boss, Chen Yin was naturally not one to give up. His actions were solely driven by the lure of the boss rewards. As for saving the three individuals, that was merely out of humanitarian concern. Their lives or deaths were of little consequence. Level 70 Calamity. Chen Yin felt no pressure in dealing with it. The Calamity Treant had a peculiar trait. If subjected to prolonged fire attacks, it had a chance to mutate into a Flame Calamity Treant. Its level would also rise from 70 to 80, making it far more formidable and naturally more likely to drop rare items. What is he trying to do? Does he intend to challenge a level 70 Calamity Treant alone? Never mind him, let's heal first. Su Ming and his companions had been in mortal danger, but with Chen Yin engaging the monster, they could seize the chance to heal and flee while it was occupied. Awakened Transcendence possessed gene energy far beyond ordinary people, allowing for slow recovery from most injuries. It was now a race against time. They needed to restore their condition as much as possible before that brat was killed by the Calamity Treant. Chen Yin extended his palms softly, uttering a few obscure syllables. Word Spirit, Inferno Blast. Boom. A ball of exploding flame detonated upon the Calamity Treant. The creature let out a piercing shriek, its tendrils writhing like countless serpents. He's a fire mage. You idiot, don't use fire abilities on the Calamity Treant. Su Ming screamed hysterically. Fire skills will make it mutate. Do you want to doom us all? Chen Yin paid no heed to the shouts behind him. Expressionless, he continued invoking his word spirit. Boom, boom, boom. Explosions blossomed across the Calamity Treant like fireworks. The pupils of the onlookers were lit by the flames. The Treant gradually transformed, its branches igniting into a blazing inferno. A madman, an absolute madman. Su Ming felt a chill run down his spine, his face twisted with terror. The mutated Calamity Treant not only had drastically enhanced attributes and a wider attack range, but its flames also made close combat nearly impossible, rendering future subjugation far more difficult. All because of this ignorant fool. Go get out of here. Once it finishes mutating, it will create a flame barrier, and well, all be trapped inside. In his early days, Su Ming had witnessed a 12-man team attempt to subdue a Calamity Treant. When it mutated, the flames formed a prison, trapping and killing all 12. The trio abandoned their healing efforts, stumbling desperately as they tried to escape. But it was too late. A long howl signaled the completion of the Calamity transmutation. The Treant spewed countless flames, spreading like blooming petals, scattering and crashing down around them. The entire area was sealed off by raging fire. The air warped from the heat, and scorching winds whipped up clouds of dust. All four were trapped within the towering Inferno's cage. There was only one way out: defeat the mutated Flame Calamity Treant. It's over. All over. The woman collapsed to her knees, her face ashen, as she stared at the terrifying flame-wreathed monster. It's all his fault. That ignorant fool. All their anger and resentment converged on Chen Yin. Had he not triggered the mutation, they might have survived, and now there was truly a level 80 field boss, the Flame Calamity Treant. At this stage, who could stand against it? Anyone who approached would be courting death. Moreover, this brat was just a fire mage whose flame skills were now useless against the monster, dealing no damage whatsoever. He's truly lost his mind. The trio stared blankly at Chen Yin's retreating figure, mouths agape, words caught in their throats. That figure strolled with leisurely grace, calm and composed, step by step toward the Flame Calamity Treant. Yes, in their eyes, Chen Yin had become a After all, no one could have imagined he was the #1 player in the world of Calamity, known as Buyu. I hope the drops won't disappoint me. Chen Yin gazed at the massive creature before him, a hint of a smile curling at his lips. Countless flaming branches hurtled toward him. There was no room to dodge. If struck, Chen Yin would be impaled, instantly dying in the most agonizing way. But he had no need to evade. His lips moved slightly, forming obscure syllables into a word spirit. Sequence 33. Wine Demon Slash. Chun Nian casually waved his hand. An invisible wind blades, the sharpest of weapons, severed the flurry of branches. He walked amidst the countless broken twigs and fallen leaves amidst the flames like a monarch gracing his domain. No. Impossible. He's not a fire mage, but a rare elemental mage. The trio stood dumbfounded, their eyes filled with shock. Thus Chun Nian advanced unimpeded, reaching the colossal flame Calamity Trant. He could feel the searing heat assaulting him. It was so intense his skin felt as if it might ignite. Then a golden light gleamed in Chun Nian's pupils. Word Spirit, Judgment Golden Sword. Within the domain all things could be judged, including temperature. With the temperature severed, Chun Nian no longer felt the heat. But the enraged monster attacked ferociously, unleashing waves of flames. Those flames too were severed one by one, never reaching Chun Nian. At last the flame Calamity Trant entered the judgment domain. Crack! Its massive body split open, without warning, rapidly dissipating into the air. Congratulations on defeating the mutated boss Flame Calamity Trant. Obtained epic equipment Flamewood Garment, obtained skill scroll high grade, obtained talent card Demon Hunter Gene Energy, 1025. Your level has increased from 35 to 43. A series of notifications appeared before Chun Nian, and all items fell into his inventory. Chun Nian didn't immediately examine the effects of the so-called epic equipment. The greatest surprise was the skill scroll high grade. In Calamity, players' abilities were not unlocked simply by leveling up. Those rare and powerful skills required dropped skill scrolls or skill synthesis to awaken under extremely harsh conditions. Chun Nian's Word Spirit Sanctifier was no exception. Nearly every ultra-high-risk Word Spirit had been awakened through immense effort. Word Spirit Death, one of the ultra-high-risk Word Spirits, required killing 1,000 players to unlock. Word Spirit Candle Dragon, another, required diving into the most terrifying volcanic depths for 3 days and nights. Word Spirit Wrath of the Gods, another ultra-high-risk Word Spirit, required gathering 7 apocalyptic thunderbolts to unlock. But with the skill scroll high grade, there was a chance to learn it directly. What a bountiful harvest. On the other side, the three were utterly petrified. The three of them would never have imagined that the kids single-handedly defeated the mutated disaster Trant. Am I dreaming? The woman blinked desperately, taking rapid deep breaths. Even now she could hardly believe it. Even the top players in the game, like Su Meng, who possessed rare talents, were only in their 20s. In front of the mutated disaster Trant, they were merely lambs waiting to be slaughtered. And monster. He intentionally used fire magic to attack the disaster Trant. Su Meng slowly exhaled. Wait. He was certain he could kill the mutated Trent deliberately, letting it mutate. As she spoke, the woman couldn't help but gasp. Everything was under his control. This person is not an ordinary player. He is definitely a top expert in disaster. Brother, we contributed too. We can't just let him take the rewards. Don't seek death. Su Meng shook his head, his expression serious. He dared not provoke such a powerful figure. He wouldn't even know how he died. As Chun Nian walked over, he immediately stepped forward, beaming with flattery. Brother, you were incredible. Thanks to you, or else we would be in grave danger, ha. The woman quickly chimed in. Yes, brother, I've never seen anyone as powerful as you. What do you call yourself in the game? Maybe we've heard of you. You talk too much. Is it appropriate to pry into the elder brother's privacy? Sorry, brother, for the offense. From now on, we are your little brothers. Feel free to ask for anything. Chun Nian ignored them. They were not on the same level as him. There was no need for deep ties. He turned to leave, intending to tally his gains before moving on to the next place to level up. He sure has an attitude. TSK. He must have obtained something good, which is why he hurried away. Haha, he won't be able to escape. A glint of dark light flashed in Su Meng's eyes. Brother, didn't you say we shouldn't provoke him? We can't afford to, but if he is good stuff, why not call more people? Don't forget about the other brothers. Haha, brother, you're wise. Yes, we have so many brothers. Su Meng immediately made a call. Hey, brother Tian, bring the guys over immediately. I've run into a fierce person who single-handedly took down an 80-level disaster Trant. What? You heard me right. He single-handedly took down a wild boss, ridiculously strong, and he must have a lot of good stuff. And the loot from the disaster Trent, if sold now, would fetch at least 100 million. High-level equipment, those wealthy bosses would definitely snatch it up regardless of the market value. It would definitely be a big deal. Alright, I'll call the brothers over right away. Don't let him get away. Today is our chance to get rich. After hanging up the phone, Su Meng looked towards the distant figure, a smile creeping onto his lips. Only by being ruthless can one thrive in the new world. Times have changed. After Chun Nian left, he began to tally his current gains. Flame Tree Garb Epic. Required level 1. Defense 150. Attack 30. Attribute bonus Constitution 10, Agility 10. Special effect Fire Resistance greatly enhances resistance to fire attacks. This equipment is definitely a top-tier item in the early game. The defense provided by just this one piece of equipment is nearly equivalent to more than half of the fine gear Chen Yan already possesses. It also grants an additional 20 points to attributes along with a special fire resistance effect. Truly an epic item. Once equipped, Chen Yan's attributes change dramatically. Chen Yan's Spirit Word Sage Unique. Gene Level 1, Level 43. Constitution 60. Agility 55. Extraordinary 50. Attack Bonus 130. Defense Bonus 350. Combat Power Assessment 32 stars. Such foundational attributes are top-notch anywhere. It is no exaggeration to say that with his current attributes, Chen Yan can disregard the impact from grenade launchers and similar firearms. Any ordinary, extraordinary individual would struggle to break through his defenses. After equipping this item facing monsters below level 50, Chen Yan is invincible. Detected the first player to equip an epic item. The trading space is now open. Is this the world's first epic item? With a mindset of joining the fun, Chen Yan opened the trading space to take a look. The first thing he focused on was the currency exchange rate. 100 coins, 1 gold. In this so-called trading space, gold has great purchasing power. Players can freely list all the items they have obtained for sale. Meanwhile, people can also freely express themselves in the chat channel. To protect privacy, everyone's names are anonymized. For instance, Chen Yan is changed to Chen Yan. Biley, who dropped an epic item. That's impressive. Lin Yu, what the hell? I'm still stuck with ordinary equipment, not even a fine one, and he has already got an epic. Xiao Tianzi, that's terrifying. I wonder who it is. They must be an ultimate expert. In the chat channel, everyone was excitedly discussing and speculating which big shot had opened up a new milestone. In a skyscraper, an aerial villa. A woman sat by the window, her red dress accentuating her perfect figure, a pair of long, flawless legs, enticing endless admiration. The woman had long, wine-haired hair, her beauty eclipsing even the top-tier female celebrities. Yi Hongling, the beloved daughter of the great general of the Dragon Company. In disaster, she is known as Qi Ling, the enchanting flame sorceress, a pinnacle existence among female players. The man she likes is undoubtedly the world. IDBU, that is Chen Yan. Oh, an epic item. Looking at the newly opened chat channel, Yi Hongling pondered, a charming smile suddenly appearing on her lips. Will you in the game, you've evaded me for a lifetime. Now merging reality, let's see if you can still escape from my grasp. Achoo. Chen Yan suddenly sneezed. Is someone thinking of me? He opened his phone to find a message from that woman in WeChat. Qi Ling, brother Buyu, if I'm not mistaken, that first epic item was dropped by you, right? Smile, this woman is quite perceptive. Chen Yan quickly replied, what are you talking about? I don't understand at all. Qi Ling still pretending. You don't think that just because you've set up a virtual IP and haven't exposed any information online, I can't track you down, do you? Chen Yan. Qi Ling, someone posted online saying they saw a great fire in a certain location, which then disappeared, as if a battle had taken place. Qi Ling, Jiangnan Province, Linhai City, right? Chen Yan shivered. He didn't expect that she could find such traces. Chen Yan, are you crazy? What do you want with me if you find me? Qi Ling, I'm coming to give you a surprise. Chen Yan, I'm a 40-year-old fat homebody. Do you really mean it? Qi Ling, guess what? If you guess correctly, I'll show you my legs. Chen Yan. Chen Yan's primary task was to sell the talent card Hunter of Demons. The Hunter of Demons was not a rare talent, but it was superior to ordinary ones. After everyone could hunt monsters, it would surely become commonplace. Thus, the sooner he sold it, the better. In this way, he could secure his first pot of gold, which could later be exchanged for real-world currency or used to purchase items he needed. Always stay one step ahead. Chen Yan talent, Hunter of Demons, listed 100 gold for direct trade, no haggling. As soon as his message was sent, it instantly ignited the entire channel. What? Someone is actually selling talent cards. Great stuff. With this, I can evolve into a superhuman directly. But 100 gold is outrageous. That's equivalent to 1 million in reality. Bro, are you trying to rob us? Yeah, the Hunter of Demons isn't rare in the game. Later you can buy it for 10 gold. He'll offer 100 gold deal. Chen Yan's second sentence was only 4 words, first come, first served. Although truly wealthy players who understood the game wouldn't spend a fortune on a card like the Hunter of Demons, the game was never short of fools. Huang Long has applied to trade with you. Accept. Accept. Chen Yan listed his item, and the other party didn't dawdle, directly transferring the gold. Trade successful. Chen Yan's account instantly gained 100 gold, meaning he had earned 1 million in minutes. This was the benefit of staying once. Others could only ever taste your dust. All the trash you discarded was treasure in their eyes. And Chen Yan aimed to always be faster than others, to be the swiftest pioneer, and to become the strongest. That was his goal. Women only slowed down his leveling speed. He hoped that woman would never find him. The most important gain Chen Yan had yet to use. A high-level skill scroll. He hoped to unlock a powerful and practical word spirit. Use. In an instant, Chen Yan felt as if he had plunged into an abyss. In the pitch-black darkness, it seemed thousands of ghosts surrounded him, dragging him into a hell of slaughter. Sequence 127. Death has awakened Chen. This damn thing had actually unlocked the extremely demanding Death word spirit. How exhilarating. What a massive profit. Death expand the domain to deprive all creatures of vision. During this time, gain the possession of Death, with attack power greatly increased lasting 30 seconds. Reap. Each time a player is killed, attack power under Death's possession permanently increases by 10. This word spirit was a skill book Chen Yan obtained in the late game after defeating an 8th tier monster, and it was unlocked only after completing extremely harsh conditions. It was immensely powerful. Moreover, this word spirit grew stronger in the later stages, even surpassing the Judgment Golden Sword. Is someone following me? Chen Yan keenly sensed two hostile gazes behind him. Word spirit Eagle Eye. Chen Yan activated Eagle Eye, and his vision instantly expanded several-fold, revealing the surroundings in full detail. 2 were hiding in the bushes, 2 in the trees, 1 under the slope. At least 5 people were secretly tailing him. It seemed those 3 were polite on the surface, but couldn't forget the benefits head gained. Very well then, let them be the ones to temper the blade of death. Chen Yan's gaze turned cold, but he absolutely couldn't act here, because Qi Ling was pursuing him, and this location was already exposed. If he went on a killing spree here, his true identity would surely be revealed. He had to escape to another remote, uninhabited place. Of course, it would be even better if more of their reinforcements showed up. Chen Yan made up his mind, and began to quicken his pace to flee. He spotted us. Trying to run. Can he escape? Follow him. Our people are all heading this way. Even if he's discovered, it's fine. He's already trapped. Su Meng was calling his brothers. Did you all see that? An epic tier equipment has already appeared. Based on my guess, it's probably on that kid. He killed a level 80 Calamity Treant. Everyone be careful. That kid's strength is no joke, but he must be heavily drained. As long as we have enough numbers, we can take him down. If we can sell that epic tier equipment, making our fortune starts today. Hearing this, the brothers were all excited. Oh, everyone was there for the money. Times had changed. Oh, as long as they could gain benefits, what was killing? 5, 10, 20, 50 people. Su Meng had summoned nearly every brother he could. These were all people he had met in Calamity before, and now every one of them was a superhuman. 50 superhumans hunting one man. They believed they had given Chen Yan the utmost respect. Boss, is that kid really so terrifying that we need this many people to deal with him? Nonsense. He took down an 80-level boss by himself. Can you do that? Once we get him, we'll be rich. Chen Yan had traversed nearly 20 kilometers. He had fled to a remote mountainous area outside the city. It seems the fish have been lured in enough. Chen Yan spotted a cave ahead and prepared to enter. Later they would surely think he had nowhere to run and would all gather together, making it convenient for him to deal with them all at once, avoiding any escapees. As soon as he entered the cave, a hurried female voice came from within. Who's there? By the torchlight on the rock wall, Chen Yan made out the figure. A girl who appeared about 18 with a small, delicate face. She had a petite frame, wearing a hoodie and shorts, and just looking at her stirred a strong desire to protect. She was crouched on the ground, seemingly injured. Chen Yan recognized her. Not only Chen Yan, but most teenagers at school knew her. Qin Yu. You've got the wrong person. The girl hurriedly pulled her hood down further, trying to hide her face. Just debuted a year ago, captivating countless fans with your sweet voice and innocent face, becoming the moonlit muse in the hearts of countless men. Female singer Qin Yu, isn't that you? Chen Yan pulled up a photo from his phone and showed it. You. Qin Yu gritted her teeth in anger, never expecting this man to look up a photo on the spot. Now there was no way to pretend anymore. Chen Yan was utterly speechless. He never imagined had run into someone here. Chen Yan didn't actually follow the entertainment industry. He recognized Qin Yu because once in a public interview the host asked her a question. Host Xiao Yu, besides singing, what other recreational activities do you have? Qin Yu, I enjoy playing games, one called Calamity. I love the freedom of exploring and adventuring in it. Host, I didn't know our Xiao Yu is also a loyal player of Calamity. So does Xiao Yu know Bu Yu? I've heard he's the world's strongest player. Qin Yu, yes. Bu Yu is my idol. He's the pride of our dragon nation. Unfortunately, my skill level is too low. I don't have the qualification to play with him. Host, haha, I didn't expect Xiao Yu to have her own idol. If Bu Yu ever sees this interview, maybe he'll take the initiative to play with you. Of course, Chen Yan never played with her in the game. There were too many girls hanging around him every day, each with more formidable identities. Oh, a singer like Qin Yu couldn't squeeze in. He never expected to meet his little fangirl in a place like this. Hurt? I'm fine. Qin Yu looked up in slight surprise. Her big watery eyes stared at Chen Yan, cute and innocent. She didn't expect that the man, after recognizing her identity, would show no fanatical reaction at all. Instead, he calmly came to care for her. How strange. All right, whether you're injured or not, I'll give you a piece of advice. Leave here immediately. Qin Yu glared. This man actually wants to drive me away right off the bat. Doesn't he know how to cherish a beautiful girl? So cold. No. What right do you have to drive me away? I'm not leaving. If you don't leave, you'll die here. Chun Yin said solemnly. There are about 50 people outside trying to kill me. They'll probably surround this place soon. Off. Qin Yu was shocked again. What kind of heinous crime did this man commit to be hunted by so many people? Aren't they all leveling up separately now? She didn't believe it, so she stood up and stumbled outside to see the situation. Her limping figure was silly and utterly adorable. Arriving at the cave entrance, she swept her gaze and was instantly terrified. There were indeed dozens of people gathered outside, almost completely surrounding the place, and all of them looked hostile. They're really serious. Qin Yu was frightened, but she still forced herself to stay calm, comforting herself that these people weren't here for her. It had nothing to do with. Excuse me, can I leave? If you're looking for him, he's inside. Qin Yu said timidly. Unexpectedly, a burst of laughter erupted around them. This chick is something. Look at that body and face. TSK. Ignorant. Do you know who she is? That newly debuted female singer. I've seen her on TV. What's her name? Qin something. Whoa. Never thought a female singer would also be a superhuman out here, grinding levels. Times have really changed. A man in a leather jacket with dyed yellow hair stepped forward and said, "This has nothing to do with you. You can leave." Really? Great. Qin Yu sighed in relief. Just let the brothers have some fun. Oh, we haven't tasted a female singer before. Ha ha ha, Brother Knife is awesome. This chick makes me drool, damn it. Qin Yu. When the game merged with reality, this world had already changed. The strong become the truth. These people had completely revealed the ugliness in their hearts. There was no way they would let her go. So she had no choice but to quickly flee back into the cave. Returning to Chun Yin's side, she wore a mournful expression as if the world was collapsing. What should I do? Two can't get away either. Sorry for dragging you into this. Chun Yin was also helpless. Who would have thought there would be someone in such a remote corner? What's the use of apologizing? We're all going to die in here. How can you still be so calm? Qin Yu was almost on the verge of tears. She was truly desperate. She never expected to run into such a thing out of nowhere. So what were you doing in here, and how did you get hurt? Chun Yin simply started chatting with her. There's a dungeon in this cave. I went and got hurt by a monster and escaped. Then I called a few friends to come and clear the dungeon, and then you showed up. Woo-woo. Qin Yu wiped the tears from her eyes and cried. While crying, she picked up her phone and called her friends, telling them not to come near, otherwise they would be implicated. You're quite kind-hearted. Chun Yin smiled. Kind-hearted. I'm still going to die because of you. He'll haunt you as a ghost. Huh? You're still laughing. You. What will you jerk? Qin Yu was crying like a rain-soaked pear blossom, looking so wronged with teardrops streaming down like pearls. At that moment, the group outside finally gathered and prepared to act. The leader, a man in a black leather jacket, was called Brother Knife, the boss of this group. Su Ming smiled and said, Brother Knife, that guy is very strong. Why don't we just blow up the cave to avoid any injuries to the brothers? Good, since you found him, I'll listen to you. What about that woman? If she doesn't come out, she'll die in there too. The problem is, how do we blast this place? That guy isn't even afraid of the flame. Calamity Trant. Ordinary methods probably won't work on him. Brother Knife, I have something good here. A flame dragon scroll. This thing needs 10 people to activate together, but it's very powerful. ITLL definitely blast that guy. Indeed a good item. 10 people, get ready. Behind them, a 3-person team was hiding quietly, not daring to show themselves. They were the friends Qin Yu had called. What do we do? Xiao Yu is still inside, and they're clearly going to kill her. What can we do? Are we 3 supposed to beat dozens of them? Sai, why is Xiao Yu so unlucky? She just wanted to clear a dungeon and ended up in this mess. It's all over now. Although some of them had called the law enforcement team, the city was still dealing with its own chaos. How could the law enforcement team be bothered to come out here? In terms of strength, the 3 were only in their 20s and level. Going up would be like offering themselves as cannon fodder. Look, what are they doing? Are they going to use a large magic scroll? I've seen this in siege battles and games. They actually have something like this. They saw a scroll floating in the air, and 10 people were chanting a spell simultaneously. The temperature kept rising, and the air distorted from the heat. Countless flames gathered in midair, gradually forming a crimson flame dragon nearly 10 meters long. At this stage, this thing can at least instantly kill any player below level 70. Kid, today, whether you're a god or a ghost, you're going to die. Go! The flame dragon burst through the air. In an instant, it charged into the cave with the most brutal and savage force. Terrifying flames filled the entrance in a flash. I estimate they'll be roasted in less than 2 minutes. Brother Knife smiled and patted Su Ming on the shoulder. You've done a great deed this time. They'll let you take a 20% cut of the good stuff. Haha, Brother Knife is awesome. Inside the cave, violent tremors. Chun Yin looked at the petite girl beside him, who was holding her head with both hands. If you want to live, come over. Huh. Before Qin Yu could react, a large rock fell from above and knocked her unconscious. Chun Yin. This girl's luck really isn't good. Helpless Chen Yin had to hold her in his arms, feeling that she was truly light, soft, and petite and lovely. Rumble. The flame dragon crashed in and swallowed Chen Yin in one gulp. The entire cave turned into a blazing hell. The hot air rapidly expanded in the sealed space and violently exploded. Fragments of rock filled the sky like a fireworks display. Excellent. Watching the fireworks bloom, the 50 or so people outside couldn't help but applaud. The loss of 2 lives did not stir any emotion in them. At this moment, only insatiable greed filled their hearts. Let's go take a look. Brother Dao led the way, ready to inspect the spoils. But a faint movement from the rubble pile made everyone halt. Boom. The debris exploded. A young man emerged from the ruins carrying a girl in his arms. His clothes were immaculate, and he was completely unharmed. No. Impossible. The encirclement of dozens instinctively stepped back, their hairs standing on end. A vast terror like an invisible black hand slowly gripped each heart. How could anyone withstand the fire dragon scroll at this stage? What kind of monster is he? Brother Dao, a veteran player who had led teams across various realms, quickly gathered his crew to level up when the game merged with reality. His ambition was to achieve greatness. But at this moment his aspirations were being crushed step by step. The young man before him was too terrifying. So terrifying that his legs trembled, barely able to stand. The 3 hiding outside were also stunned, especially upon seeing Qin Yu carried out, and scathed, their minds churning with shock. Who was that? No idea. When did Xiao Yu have such a formidable friend? But he's just one person. Even if he comes out, what can he do against dozens? I have a feeling. This person is beyond our imagination. Chen Yin gently set Qin Yu on the ground. His indifferent gaze swept over the crowd. He's alone. What if he comes out? Kill him. Su Ming was utterly panicked. He had considered the kid strong, but not to this extent. Right. Don't be afraid, we outnumber him. Despite the encouragement, no one dared to step forward. If you want, move, I will. A fierce gale raged around Chen Yin, with countless stones swirling at his side. Darkness spread rapidly from his feet, like ink splashed on canvas. Word spirit, death. A terrifying high-risk word spirit of sequence 127. The moment it activated, it brutally robbed everyone of their sight, plunging the area into an abyss of pitch-black darkness. What's happening? I can't see anything. People shouted in confusion, their complete loss of direction breeding fear, panic, and helplessness. At that moment, a phantom of death appeared behind Chen Yin. Its skeletal right hand wielded a massive scythe, while its left held the book of life and death, exuding a suffocating pressure. You have entered death possession state. Attack 330 seconds of death possession. Chen Yin's attack bonus had already reached 390. Even without activating death possession, his base attributes alone could crush this group. Now with his attacks skyrocketing, no one could withstand his strikes. A wolf among sheep. With each swing of the death phantom's scythe, a life was claimed. These people were like fish on a chopping block, helplessly awaiting slaughter. Chen Yin's figure darted through the crowd at incredible speed. Wherever he passed, none survived. Death scythe attack 10 deaths, scythe attack 10, with each kill the scythe's attack permanently stacked. The later the stage, the more terrifying it became. Qin Yu's 3 friends were nearly frightened out of their wits. Unable to pierce the darkness, they could only hear screams echoing. What's happening in there? The 3 trembled uncontrollably, but it didn't last long. The 30 seconds ended swiftly. The dark domain receded like a tide, and visibility gradually returned. Limbs and blood littered the ground. Apart from the terrifying young man, not a single soul remained alive. The thick stench of blood hung in the air as the boy elegantly stepped over the scattered corpses, as if strolling through a garden. Death also forcibly stripped Chen Yin of all emotions, turning him into a true killing machine with no mercy. A truly high-risk word spirit. When his emotions returned, he only felt disgust with no trace of guilt or reluctance. Next time I use death, the attack bonus will be 300 plus 5. Chen Yin was satisfied. Growth only made him stronger. The ground before him was littered with dropped equipment and items. Another bountiful harvest. He began collecting them into his inventory. I remember. The bespectacled, chubby man collapsed to the ground, his lips trembling. His breathing grew rapid. I've seen this ability before. He is. The other 2 urged impatiently. Spit it out. Who is he? Buyu. He's Buyu. I've seen this ability. Only he in the entire world can use it. During the National War, he charged into enemy lines with this power and killed over 1,000 in under a minute. He struck such terror that the enemy fled at the mere mention of his name. The other 2 stood frozen, not reacting at first. Then they immediately covered their mouths to stifle their gasps. He's the world's strongest player. Buyu. Who else could it be? Who else could be this strong? Can you slaughter dozens alone? He inherited his in-game talent. It's only a matter of time before he becomes the world's strongest again. I never thought we'd be this lucky. Great. I never imagined I'd see him in this lifetime. Who knows how thrilled they were. If they could befriend Buyu, who would dare mess with them? This was the ultimate golden thigh to cling to. Chun Yin's vision flickered with notifications. Obtained common equipment bronze helmet, obtained fine equipment Linksy earrings, obtained skill scroll fireball, obtained skill scroll half moon slash, obtained material gray wolf hide, all random drops from the slain. He had struck it rich. He'd sell it all at the trading market later. Sweet. But first he had to deal with the onlookers who had been watching for a while. You can come out now, Chun Yin said calmly. They'll give you 1 minute. Don't make me come find you. The three trembled at his words. They scrambled out of their hiding spot, one nearly tripping. Face to face with Buyu, they were awestruck. The world's strongest player was such a clean-cut youth. They scrambled out of their hiding spot, one nearly tripping. Face to face with Buyu, they were awestruck. They even stuttered as they spoke. Chun Yin knew they were Qin Ye's friends and didn't intend to make trouble, but he had to assert his dominance. Keep what you saw to yourselves. Absolutely, absolutely. We saw nothing. Rest assured, big brother. They swore fervently, almost ready to take a deadly oath. They wouldn't dare deceive Chun Yin unless they wanted to die. Chun Yin smiled and nodded. Pile all these together. Yes. Fighting their nausea, the three gathered the bodies. Chun Yin used the word spirit inferno blast to incinerate them all. When the area was mostly clean, a cough sounded behind him. Qinyu had been awakened by the... Qinyu awoke. Upon waking, she was baffled, touching her own face. I'm not dead. The last thing she remembered was a rock striking her head. She had thought she would surely die, yet aside from a throbbing headache, she was almost unharmed. A surge of joy from surviving a calamity welled up in her heart. But what exactly had happened? Qinyu looked ahead where a blazing fire raged. Her three friends and that annoying man were all there. He was unharmed too. Wait, weren't those dozens of people all targeting him? Rubbing her head, Qinyu walked over. Xiaoyu, you're finally awake. What happened back there? Do you know where those people went? Haha, those guys were all paper tigers. Looked imposing, but low level. We drove them all off. The bespectacled fatty said immediately. He dared not say that Buyu had slaughtered them all and was now openly burning the corpses. Thank heavens we had a water mage who cleaned the area thoroughly enough to fool Qinyu. Really? That's great. Hey, don't you think you should thank us for saving your life? Qinyu snorted at Chun Yin. Chun Yin turned and smiled at this naive pop star. Thanks. His earnest expression was quite handsome. Qinyu turned her head slightly. At least you know. So how are you going to repay us for saving you? Unexpectedly, these words panicked the other three, sweat beading on their foreheads. Yuji, don't say that. We don't need any reward. Helping each other is only right. Yes, Xiaoyu, this brother is innocent too. Don't be so petty. Qinyu was almost fuming. These three were her close gaming buddies from playing Calamity. How could they now side with an outsider? You, why are you defending an outsider? Forget it. Let's not talk about that. Where did this fire come from? What's burning? Qinyu asked. It started during the fight. Don't sweat the details. By the way, Xiaoyu, you said you found a dungeon. Where is it? It's in there. At the mention of the dungeon, Qinyu grew excited. Follow me. Wait, Xiaoyu. Let's bring this brother along. Qinyu's slender brows rose in confusion. I risked my life to find this dungeon. Why should I bring him? He almost got me killed just now. The other three grumbled inwardly. What do you know? Having Buyu lead us through a dungeon is a tremendous honor, okay? We couldn't ask for more. And who knows what dangers we'll face inside. With Senior Buyu, won't it be a cakewalk? Don't be so picky. Everyone gets a share, and more hands make lighter work, right? 2M being picky. Qinyu pointed at her own nose, almost choking. What's gotten into these people today? Why are they always siding with an outsider? Yet she was truly magnanimous, and despite not knowing Chun Yin's real identity, she still agreed. Fine. You can come. But I'll warn you now, once inside the dungeon you must follow my orders, or don't blame us if you get into trouble. Chun Yin smiled and nodded. Okay, I'll follow your lead. The other three's hearts were convulsing. Having Buyu listen to you. Xiaoyu, who do you think you are? You really think you're something? Ahem. But they dared not say a word, only clearing their throats vigorously. Thus Qinyu led the four to the place where she had discovered the dungeon. In a corner of the ruins there truly was a chaotic vortex. Dungeons in this world seem to spawn randomly, only the fated can see them. If we can clear it, we'll hit. Don't count on it too much. The dungeon's level is high. I tried going in and got hurt. Qinyu pouted, muttering, anyway, be careful. If something feels wrong, run out. It's not worth losing your life. Understood. Chun Yin cooperated enthusiastically. Dungeons were rare opportunities with generous rewards. If possible, they should clear it. Touching the chaotic vortex, all of them were sucked into the dungeon. Successfully entered the dungeon fire abyss. They all saw the text prompt and felt a jolt of... It was a brand new dungeon they had never seen before. Qinyu had been inside once, so she wasn't surprised. Be careful. The minor monsters here are strong too. We must stick together and not fight alone. Normally they would have felt tense, but now, what was there to fear? With Senior Buyu around, what dungeon couldn't be crushed effortlessly? Let's go. Everyone follow me. We'll fight our way through. Exploring and leveling up always motivated Qin Yu. It was why she loved games. The group advanced steadily. The entire area resembled the inside of a volcano composed mostly of lava and rock with monsters that were largely fire elements. Working together clearing the minor monsters was not difficult. Gene Energy 20. Gene Energy 25. Experience points kept rising all the way, but Chen Yin was slacking off. He was quietly tinkering with the loot he had picked up earlier. Skill scrolls 9 in total. As they leveled up, all classes and talents gradually unlocked some skills. But rare skills and powerful skills were not unlocked with leveling. They required skill scrolls to unlock. Take the most ordinary swordsman having the rare sword technique, Soaring Moon Slash, made them a cut above those without it. The reason Chen Yin was so monstrous was that his talent word Spirit Saint was already formidable, and he had unlocked the top-tier dangerous words Judgment Golden Sword and Death God. Rare skill scrolls could be obtained through synthesis. 3 into 1. Each 3 unknown had a chance of yielding a rare skill. What Chen Yin wanted to do now was synthesize all 9 skill scrolls. If he synthesized a rare skill, he'd hit the jackpot. If he could use it, great. If not, he could sell it in the trading space for a sky-high price. Flame Spear, Ice Spear, Art Wind, Surging Clouds, Demon Hunting Slash. Moonhook, Water Dragon Art, 8 Desolations, Palm, Thunderclap Step. Heavenly Protection, Meteor Shower, Mental Interference, Tiger Roar. Unfortunately, none of the 3 syntheses produced a rare skill. Chen Yin synthesized the 3 new skill scrolls again. If this also yielded a common skill, he'd take a big loss, but since they were obtained for free, he wouldn't be. Demon Hunting Slash, Thunderclap, Step, Tiger Roar, Void Slithering Serpent. Chen Yin. Sequence 53, Word Spirit, Void Slithering. Holy shit, he never expected to synthesize this thing. Void Serpent, a rare skill of exceptional utility. When activated with Word Spirit, it summons an invisible serpent with formidable offensive power and supreme stealth. It is akin to an invisible agile summon, striking wherever directed. Chen Yin. We're all fighting hard here, why have you been slacking off? Qin Yu muttered with discontent. Although clearing these minor mobs didn't require full effort, seeing Chen Yin goof off irked her sense of fairness. The other 3 shuddered. Good heavens, Xiao Yu, you are truly audacious. Across the entire world, perhaps only you dare to call Bu Yu out for idling in a dungeon. Awesome. With his strength, dealing with these small fries is like using a sledgehammer to crack a nut. When the real moment of crisis comes, well, rely on him. Xiao Yu, it's fine. We can easily handle these monsters without Brother Chen's help. Yes, Sister Yu, Brother Chen's abilities might just not be suited for these flame spirits. Don't be too strict. Qin Yu's eyes widened after hearing that. What? Did you all get paid by him? You're defending him at every turn, making me feel like an outsider. How ridiculous. Friends shed known for a year were less loyal than a stranger. They even made excuses for him, indulging his laziness. What kind of nonsense was this? The other 3 grumbled inwardly. Xiao Yu, if you knew he was your idol Bu Yu, you'd be even more biased than us. Blame it on the fact that you fainted earlier. Hurry up, let's push deeper. I have a feeling we'll encounter the boss soon. Pressured by the others, Qin Yu reluctantly dropped the matter, lest she appear petty. Along the way, they dealt with a few elite monsters, and finally reached the deepest part of the dungeon. A pool of magma roughly the size of a basketball court lay before them, the entire rock face glowing crimson, the scorching air nearly warped by the heat. Hot, so hot. Beads of sweat glistened on Qin Yu's snow-white neck. Were she not a transcendent with a constitution superior to ordinary humans, she would have long been unable to endure. This is the deepest part of the dungeon. Where's the boss? If we stay much longer, we'll be roasted alive. Just as they were perplexed, the magma beneath their feet suddenly erupted with a bang. Amidst the splashing molten rock, the monster sleeping in the lava finally awakened. Rivers of magma cascaded down its body, and an overwhelming pressure surged toward them. Fire Rock Giant. It seemed to be pieced together from massive boulders with crimson flowing through the cracks between them. Its pupils blazed like twin suns. Thighs. Is the boss. Qin Yu instinctively stepped back half a pace, speaking timidly. It looks kinda tough. Can we beat it? Maybe we should retreat. By conservative estimate, this boss was at least first order level 50. Don't worry, Xiao Yu, we can do this. Although this big guy looks scary, it might just be a paper tiger. Qin Yu. She felt like she was sick. Normally these guys would have bolted long ago. They were even more cowardly than her. But today they were all remarkably calm. Were they taking the wrong medicine? So absurd. Watch out, it's attacking. Dodge. The Fire Rock Giant slammed down its fist. Boom. It caved in a section of the ground, sinking it into the surging magma. Qin Yu's face turned pale with fear, but she mustered her courage to shoot an arrow. Her talent was the unremarkable archer. A green arrow accurately struck the Fire Rock Giant's head. At that moment, Chen Yin activated his word spirit, Void Serpent. The invisible serpent shot through the air, colliding precisely with the giant's head. Another piercing roar echoed. The Void Serpent smashed a small chunk off the Fire Rock Giant's head. But Qin Yu, unable to see the serpent, believed it was the effect of her own arrow, and was both amazed and delighted. You're right, it really is a paper tiger. My arrow can even damage it. The other three, you truly have no self-awareness. Of course they knew Chen Yan was secretly helping. In their hearts they marveled, too powerful to act invisibly and still deliver such devastating force. Only the strongest player of Calamity could do this. Swish! Qin Yu fired another arrow. Chen Yan coordinated perfectly, manipulating the void serpent to strike again. The fire rock giant suffered another grievous blow, with a huge hole blasted through its chest. Awesome! Qin Yu was overjoyed, her eyes sparkling. This fire giant looks big, but its defense is pathetically low. I can take it down myself without your help. Right, sister Yu, you're amazing. Go Xiao, you keep it up. The other three cheered with poker faces, but their gazes were all fixed on Chen Yan, astonished by his miraculous skill. Qin Yu. They say God gives you a door, but closes a window. With your stunning beauty, it's only natural that your brain might be a little lacking. You couldn't even solo the minor monsters outside, yet you genuinely believe you brought down the boss with your own strength. But it's fine. Saves us the trouble of having to come up with excuses for you. Qin Yu drew her bow repeatedly. The fire rock giant's body was relentlessly ravaged by Chen Yan's word spirit, riddled with holes and shattered. Finally, with a thunderous crash, it collapsed and sank into the magma. Chen Yan withdrew the void serpent without a trace, and a string of text appeared before it. Congratulations on defeating the boss fire rock giant Gene Energy, 900 level up, 43-45. Congratulations on obtaining epic equipment Flamebow. Congratulations on clearing the dungeon abyss of fire. Congratulations on obtaining skills scroll 100 birds paying homage to the phoenix. Congratulations on obtaining talent card Elemental Archer, Saint. Good grief. Seeing the rewards, Chen Yan was stunned. A professional talent card, an archer's epic equipment, and archer skill scroll. This was a complete set for a single class. These items were utterly useless to Chen Yan. He could only sell them. In the entire party, only Qin Yu was an archer. Cleared. Did you guys get anything good? I got a rare grade armor piece. Qin Yu hopped with joy like a little rabbit. The other three had also obtained various rewards and were ecstatic. Being carried through a dungeon by Big Brother Bu Yu felt absolutely amazing. They barely had to exert themselves during the boss fight, clearing it effortlessly. If they had tried to tackle this boss on their own, they'd probably have suffered a lot. They even wanted to kneel and kowtow to Chen Yan right there, but since they couldn't reveal his identity, they held back. If your big sister carried you through the dungeon, and you don't even say thank you. Qin Yu put her hands on her hips and snorted at Chen Yan. Thank you. That thank you almost made the other three drop to their knees on the spot. Too much honor for us. Damn it. So did you get anything good? Qin Yu asked again. Yes. Chen Yan took out the flame bow from his inventory. A blazing epic-grade weapon glowing like fiery feathers in the forge, immensely eye-catching. The moment she saw the new equipment, Qin Yu's eyes shone brighter than this is just dropped from the dungeon, looks like epic equipment. Chen Yan said with a composed expression. Epic. Hearing that word, the surrounding people couldn't help but draw in a sharp breath. Just recently the world had witnessed the first epic piece of equipment, which led to the opening of the trading space, and now they were already seeing one. Terrifying and epic at this stage was truly a sky-high price. It was no exaggeration to say that this bow in front of them was worth a seaside villa. Even if epic equipment would soon be phased out, there would still be wealthy buyers willing to purchase it, as it could greatly boost combat power. Wait, why is the big shot Chen Yan so calm? A terrifying thought emerged in their minds. Could it be? The first epic drop was from Chen Yan, so he wasn't surprised at all. That must be it. As expected of the strongest player in Cataclysm, just a few days, and he had already reached heights that ordinary people could never attain. Wait. After the intense shock, Qin Yu belatedly realized. Why did this good equipment fall into your hands? Wasn't it me who killed the boss? The others couldn't help but snicker. Why did the equipment fall to Chen Yan? Because when partying in a dungeon, 80 of the boss drops go to the killer, and only 20 randomly to other players. It was perfectly normal for Chen Yan to get the best equipment. Maybe it's just my luck. Do you want it? Chen Yan asked with a smile. 2. Qin Yu stammered. I'm an archer myself, of course I want it. But this is an epic piece of equipment, will you really give it to me so easily? No. I was the one who defeated the boss, can't you just? No. Chen Yan's consecutive cold replies left Qin Yu speechless. She desperately wanted this piece of equipment. If she could get it, she would greatly increase her strength and leap ahead of everyone else. I can pay, she said through gritted teeth. How much? 3 million. Chen Yan still shook his head. 5 million. Are you squeezing toothpaste here? 10 million, that's all I have. You can see I contributed a lot, just give it to me, okay? The young girl bit her delicate lips, her eyes almost red. Heaven knows how wrong she felt. She had inexplicably faced mortal danger, got knocked out by a rock, discovered the dungeon herself, and even brought in an outsider like Chen Yan only to have to buy the equipment with a huge sum after fighting hard to defeat the boss. Chen Yin also found it amusing this girl really had a good temper. If it were someone more petty, they would have fought him on the spot. She was even willing to spend money to buy it. Still not enough. A playful smile curled at the corner of Chen Yin's lips. This time Chen Yu was completely shattered. Wiping the tears from the corner of her eyes readied, yet feigning determination, she asked, "Then what will it take for you to give it to me?" "A simple condition: be my girlfriend in name." Chen Yu's beautiful eyes widened, her mouth slightly open, frozen on the spot. The other three were even more shocked, covering their mouths, their eyes filled with intense astonishment, unable to utter a single word. Chen Yin made this request not because he was attracted to Chen Yu's beauty. Rather, having a girlfriend by his side could avoid many troubles and make many things more convenient for him. Bu Yu was known to everyone as a lone wolf. Countless wealthy and beautiful women flirted with him, from seductive married women to lively high school girls. There were simply too many girls who threw themselves at him. But Bu Yu had never touched any of them because he firmly believed that online romance was unreliable, and these people were only after his gaming skills. In the eyes of others, Bu Yu was even rumored to be impotent in bed. Why not gay? Because the number of men coming to him was also countless. If he had a girlfriend now, it would reduce the chance of exposing his identity. Especially when that woman, Yi Hongling, was looking for him, it could greatly reduce the possibility of her finding him. That woman's status, position, and methods were far superior to Chen Yu, the cute and naive girl. They were on completely different levels. If Yi Hongling truly came to him, it wouldn't be so simple to handle. So using Chen Yu as a shield was perfect. After hearing this, Chen Yu's three friends were so excited they couldn't speak, their hearts filled with ecstasy. The big shot Bu Yu was going to make Xiao Yu his girlfriend. What a great fortune. What did it mean? It meant Xiao Yu now had a supreme leg to cling to. We can also reap the benefits, why not? No way. How can I just casually be your girlfriend? Even though I really want this equipment, I can't use myself as a bargaining chip. Chen Yu didn't think long before directly refusing. I said in name only. That won't do either. I don't want to do things I don't like. Change your condition. The bespectacled fat man immediately stepped forward. Xiao Yu, you need to think this over carefully. Don't reject so quickly. That's right, Xiao Yu, an epic piece of equipment that's hard to come by. You can't just give up. Even if not for yourself, think about us. Chen Yu glared. You. Sister Yu, you're so beautiful, and you're constantly harassed by various things. Wouldn't having a boyfriend protect you better? But a rumored boyfriend would ruin my career. In this world now, what career? What we need to do is level up and become stronger, or it's hard just to survive. Chen Yu was completely dumbfounded. What were these people up to? Why were they so eager for her to agree? She was a girl who needed to be reserved, okay? She had never even been in a relationship. Don't worry, I said a name means a name. I'm not interested in you. Chen Yu. These words completely made the cat bristle. Not interested? You dare to say you're not interested in me? Who do you think you are? Fine. It'll make you regret saying that. Fine, I agree. Great, happy to cooperate. Chen Yin readily handed over the flame bow. Chen Yu received the equipment and immediately checked its stats. Flame bow epic. Defense 30. Attack 140. Attribute bonuses: Physique 7, Agility 12, Extraordinary 5. Special effect: arrows shot come with a fire enchantment, significantly enhancing destructive power. Such a powerful piece of equipment. Chen Yu hadn't expected that guy to actually hand over the equipment to her. This was epic. It was as if Chen Yin had directly bought her a seaside villa. He does keep his word. For once, Chen Yu felt some goodwill towards Chen Yin, but she was still determined to make him regret it. When you really want me as your girlfriend, you'll no regret, humph. Chen Yin left his contact information and departed. This outing had yielded great gains. However, the frequent use of powerful spoken incantations had strained his supernatural energy, even as his level climbed rapidly. Chen Yin also arrived nearby, and indeed saw a teleportation array resembling a chaotic vortex with monsters occasionally crawling out from within. The player base of Calamity was enormous. Now that talents from the game could be inherited, this power was absolutely not to be underestimated. Moreover, ordinary people who hadn't played Calamity could also embark on the path of the supernatural by purchasing talent cards. The era of universal superhumans was upon us. Survival of the fittest, the strong ruling supreme, would become the new rule of this age. Returning to the villa district, he happened to be spotted by the neighbor's sister as he passed by. She hurried out of her yard. Xiao Chen, where have you been these past 2 days? I was so worried. Lucy finally felt a weight lift from her heart. You saved me last time, and I don't know. Chen Yin smiled. It was nothing. Neighbors should help each other. You're such a good person. If you ever need Sister Sis help in the future, just say the word. It'll definitely. Okay. By the way, have you eaten? If not, come to my place for a meal. Sure. Chen Yin went to Lucy's home. Soon the beautiful neighbor placed a steaming bowl of beef noodles before him. Sister C, do you live alone? Yes, my mother passed away when I was young and my father is too busy with work to take care of me. He said he wanted to hire a housekeeper, but I didn't want one. Chen Yin nodded. That's quite similar to my situation. Yours too. My parents divorced and both remarried. My father thought I was just wasting my time playing games, so he kicked me out to fend for myself. Heh. In truth, Chun Yin's father only wanted to teach him a lesson to make him experience the hardship of living without financial support, so he would return to inherit the. Unexpectedly, Chun Yin chose to stick with gaming to the very end, never looking back. So his family remained unaware that he now lived in a villa thanks to gaming, and was on the verge of becoming the world's strongest in this new era. If they knew what expressions would they make. After hearing Chun Yin's story, Lucy gave a gentle smile. It's okay. You can come over to my place for meals often. I'm a pretty good cook. Okay, thank you, Sister C. Eat up, the noodles are getting cold. Chun Yin had just returned home. He was about to list the looted equipment on the trading platform to continue building his financial strength when an unfamiliar call came in. Answering the phone, a strange male voice spoke. A first meeting, little brother Chun Yin. Who are you? My name is Lu Xingchen, current CEO of Nianluan Real Estate. You should call me Big Brother. The tone carried an air of condescending arrogance. Chun Yin had heard the name before. His father had remarried, and Lu Xingchen was the son of that new stepmother. Nianluan Real Estate was his father's company, named after his own Nian character. It seemed this new son had already become CEO. Did his father think highly of him? So what? Chun Yin's tone was flat. Haha, I thought you'd be more excited. I'm not even 2 years older than you, yet I'm already in this position, trusted by our father. Lu Xingchen sneered, his tone brimming with mockery and condescension, like a rich young master speaking to a commoner. I heard Dad kicked you out because you were upset. How about this? He'll give you a chance, little brother. Come work as my assistant at the company. They'll pay you a monthly salary of 100,000. Heh. Chun Yin almost laughed out loud. He could easily sell a single piece of equipment for that much. The allure of 100,000 monthly salary was truly overwhelming. He couldn't be bothered with this clown. He had no interest in family affairs. Live and let live. If there's nothing else, I'm hanging up. Little brother, don't be so hasty. To be honest, if Dad hadn't asked me to talk to you, I wouldn't waste my precious time on you. Oh. Yesterday, I just closed $1 billion deal for the company. Dad was thrilled, so he wanted to give you another chance to reform. He asked me to mentor you. Got it. Oh, you might have some of those supernatural abilities from that game. The company is planning to hire a dozen superhumans as security guards. Interested? Chun Yin initially didn't want to engage with the clown. But if the clown insisted on jumping in his face, he wouldn't hesitate to slap him down. What if that $1 billion deal falls through? Haha. Little brother, what nonsense are you talking? The meeting is already set. They're coming to sign the contract this afternoon. How could it fall through? In the office, Lu Xingchen, lounging in his executive chair, laughed uproariously, his legs crossed casually on the desk. Little brother, you don't think whining to Dad will wake up? The crying child doesn't always get the milk. All right then, I wish you smooth sailing with the contract signing this afternoon. Chun Yin hung up the phone. He was perfectly fine living on his own, not bothering anyone, not provoking anyone. But if someone insisted on courting death, there was no helping it. Chun Yin opened a gaming group chat. The group was named Mountains and Rivers, Eternal Peace. Its motto, may our land be safe and our country forever. This was the guild Chun Yin had founded in Calamity. It wasn't large, with only about 1,000 members, but every single one was an elite. And by elites, he didn't just mean in the game. They were elites from all walks of life. Some were billion-dollar company CEOs, some were heirs to vast commercial empires, some were titans of the live streaming industry, executives of Fortune 500 companies, and magnates on the rich list. Chun Yin was the world's #1 gamer. How could anyone in his guild be ordinary? They were either top-tier players or big spenders. This was Chun Yin's most formidable network. He rarely spoke in the group because whenever he did, even just typing a hymn, the chat would explode. Holy crap, Brother Boo, you spoke. Brother Boo, you finally showed up. We've missed you so much. Big bro, what level are you now? Give us a hint. Big bro was that world's first epic tier equipment drop from you. No one in the group knows where it came from, but I knew it had to be you. Brother you, I love you. Brother Boo, you, any chance you could lead us in a real-life dungeon run? Screw off, you think you can waste brother? Yes, time. He'll pay 10 million. He'll send a private jet. Big bro, come hang out for a couple of days. Big bro, when are we organizing an offline meetup? We're waiting for you to lead us on a big venture. Admin has enabled global mute. Xiaoqi, you guys are so noisy. Can't you just be quiet for a bit? Xiaoqi was the group's admin. In the game, she was the strongest female sword immortal of the Dragon Kingdom. In real life, her name was Su Jinyu, the heiress of a world-leading conglomerate. Xiaoqi, Brother Boo, you go ahead and speak. Chun Yin. Chun Yin, if you want to meet offline, ask Xiaoqi to organize it. I'm busy. Chun Yin, I have a batch of equipment here. Xiaoqi will hand it over to you. Distribute it to the brothers who need it. Xiaoqi, wow, Brother Boo, you is so kind. Thus, Chun Yin distributed all the equipment he had scavenged before. Though not top tier, there were always those, and most importantly, it occasionally won the hearts of his brothers. Brother Yu is generous. Thanks for the gear, Brother Yu, hee. So awesome. He gave away all this equipment to the brothers. Does that mean Brother Yu has already found something better? Isn't it obvious? With the boss strength, would he fancy this junk? After a round of flattery from the group, Chen Yan spoke again. Chen Yan, does anyone have connections with real estate companies? I need a favor. The moment they heard the boss needed help, the group exploded. Being able to do Buyu a favor was an incredible opportunity. Brother, you mean me. I'm the chairman. I have over a dozen branches nationwide. Just come to me if you need anything. All my company's business is tied to real estate. Call me anytime, bro. Boss, I work at the Market Supervision Administration. My uncle is in tax audit. Can I help? Everyone scrambled, eager to do something for Chen Yan. In the game Calamity, Chen Yan had always been good to his brothers, forging deep bonds. But that was only within the game. Now that the game had merged with reality, Chen Yan's potential was terrifying. Perhaps in the near future, he would become the world's strongest. Building a good relationship with him meant clinging to his superpower. Money was as insignificant as dirt compared to a connection with Chen Yan. Finally, Chen Yan chose someone. Chen Yan, Big Goose ITLLBU. Private chat with me. Seeing that Chen Yan already had someone in mind, everyone was dejected. Boss, if he can't meet your needs, let us take over. Big Goose, screw you. He'll give up half my company's shares if I have to, but I must meet brother Yes demands. So Chen Yan told him his requirements. It was simple. He wanted the upcoming 10 billion yuan deal of the yearning real estate company to fall through. How? That's way too easy. They're offering 10 billion, I'll offer 15 billion. He'll send someone to negotiate right away. Those guys in Linhai City wouldn't dare refuse me. If you want, boss, I could even drive this company to bankruptcy. Chen Yan, no need for that. I owe you one. Big Goose, it's my duty. That afternoon, in the open-air garden meeting room, Lu Xingchen sat with his legs crossed, accompanied by his secretary and assistant, waiting for the client to arrive. Today's deal was a massive 10 billion yuan business. This was his first deal as CEO to prove himself. If it succeeded, everyone on the board would see him in a new light. Most importantly, his father would value him more and stop fixating on that useless son of his. The secretary in a pencil skirt walked over with a smile. President Lu Yurti, remember to wear black stockings next time. I like that. Oh, President Lu, you're so naughty. Lu Xingchen chuckled, patted her shapely bottom, sipped his tea, and basked in the sun, feeling as refreshed as a spring breeze. It was the epitome of bliss. Truly, in the flush of success, he felt like he could conquer the world. Everyone revolved around him. Work with the secretary, play with the secretary. The feeling of being at the top was intoxicating. That waste of a son really doesn't know his place. If he'd come back to work for me, he'd have a stable job. Out there, who knows when he'll die. But it's fine. When the old man kicks it, all the inheritance will be mine. Just then the client arrived. Lu Xingchen immediately stood up, beaming as he prepared to greet them. The other party was a business tycoon. He couldn't afford any negligence. Once the contract was settled, they could go for a relaxing foot massage in the evening and strengthen their ties. But as he stood, he froze. The esteemed business magnate didn't come. Instead, only his female secretary arrived with no one else. Lu Xingchen frowned. It's almost 3 o'clock. Where's your boss? Sorry, President Lu, my boss sent me to inform you that this deal might not be suitable. Maybe we can cooperate next time. What the hell? Lu Xingchen suppressed his rage and gritted his teeth. We had a good video conference 2 days ago. At least give me a reason. Well, a competitor has acquired this project for 15 billion. Naturally, we chose to cooperate with them. What a... Lu Xingchen trembled, disbelief in his eyes. Impossible. A 15 billion acquisition. How would they make a profit? This project doesn't have that much margin. Are they insane? I wouldn't know. Sorry, President Lu. Goodbye. Lu Xingchen stood frozen for a long while, then suddenly collapsed into his chair, drained of all strength. He muttered impossible under his breath. To him, it felt like the sky was falling. President Lu, please calm down. The secretary rushed over, but he shoved her away roughly. Get lost. His face was ashen, unable to utter a word. Because before negotiating this deal, he had signed a gambling agreement with his father, taking full responsibility for the... If he succeeded, his CEO position would be secure. If he failed, he would be demoted for further training. But Lu Xingchen was confident. He had connections on the client side, giving him a high chance of closing the deal. Yet at the last moment, a madman had interfered. Just then a text message came into his phone. It contained only one simple sentence. Is the contract negotiation going well? It was from Chen Yan. This sentence was like the final spark, igniting Lu Xingchen's fury. It's him. He's behind this. Impossible. He's just a lousy gamer. How could he have such influence? Impossible, absolutely impossible. This must be a coincidence. If I just talk to that competitor, there's still a chance to salvage it. Yes. A 15 billion project from a competitor. It wasn't hard to find out who they were. Lu Xingchen immediately made a call. Hello, is this President Jiang? Hi, I'm Lu Xingchen. Not interested. Click, beep, beep, beep. With a clatter, Lu Xingchen's phone fell to the ground. He stood motionless like a statue. The sheer humiliation was like a heavy slap, swelling his face. Is the contract negotiation going well? Recalling Chen Yan's words, Lu Xingchen felt a chill run down his spine, his heart clenching tight. Brother Buyu, the matter is settled. I had my company outbid them and snatched that project. After completing the task, Day excitedly came to report to Chen Yin. As the CEO of a large enterprise, a middle-aged man nearing 40, he was now cheerfully waiting by his phone, anticipating a reply from Buyu. That's right, like a desperate suitor chasing after a goddess. Chen Yin, all right, I owe you one. Day shuddered and immediately replied, not at all, big brother. It's my honor to help you. Chen Yin, if I remember correctly, your talent is knight. They'll keep an eye out for related items for you in the future. Day, ha, big brother is too kind. I thank you. No sooner had he said this than he immediately went to show off in the group. Being able to help Buyu was absolutely a major achievement worth bragging about. Not to mention anything else, his status in the group would rise. Such was the power of Buyu. Awesome, Day. From now on we have to call you Brother Goose. Brother Goose, from now on, am your little brother, look after me. Day's vanity was instantly greatly satisfied. Not to mention anything else, just this alone made it feel worth it. Everyone in the group were elites. In the future world, that would be powerful connections. Building a good relationship with Buyu meant having connections, and connections meant power, and power meant being able to stand firm in the new era. In the future world, that would be powerful connections. Building a good relationship with Buyu meant having connections, and connections meant power, and power meant It was just that a clown wanted to leap over his head, so he casually slapped the clown. There were few people capable enough to be taken seriously by him. Only someone at Yi Hongling's level would count. But now I have a girlfriend, so she probably won't be able to find me that easily. Chen Yin's plan was simple: rest for 2 more days until the supernatural power within his body fully recovered, then continue going out to level up. Supernatural power comes from the unlocking of genes within the body. If overused, it can cause genetic exhaustion and collapse, leading to irreversible consequences. Important notice: all students are required to attend school normally tomorrow. The school will open a new martial science for supernatural beings to learn and grow, and there is also hope of being recruited by the authorities. Please pay attention, all students. This was a pinned announcement in the school group. Is the school resuming operations? That makes sense. Even if the game merges with reality, the operation of the real world cannot collapse. Otherwise, how would people have an economy? How would they live? Not only schools, but also living facilities, entertainment facilities, and all walks of life were quickly recovering. The difference was that the most needed talents in this era had become supernatural beings. The school wanted to cultivate supernatural beings. Chen Yin received another phone call, surprisingly, from his girlfriend, Qinyu. Hey Chen Yin. What? I'm going to report at Linhai University tomorrow to study in the martial science department. Can you come with me then? Qinyu's voice sounded hesitant, as if she was a bit shy. Chen Yin was studying at Linhai University himself. What a coincidence. Probably those 3 friends of Qin, you were secretly plotting, giving her a chance to spend more time with me, so they tricked her into coming here. After all, they knew my true identity. Why aren't you saying anything? Seeing his silence, Qin, you clearly showed a bit of girlish temper. What about your agency people? No one sent you. The agent said that since I have a boyfriend, I should let him pick me up, and they can find a time to make an official announcement on my Weibo. Qinyu lay on the bed, burying her flushed face into the pillow, wishing she could find a hole to crawl into. She hadn't expected that the agency would just ignore her like that. Alright. What do you mean, alright? It's your duty to pick up your girlfriend, isn't it? Then I'll see you tomorrow at the Linhai University gate. And don't stand me up, or you'll be in trouble. Qinyu knew that once she entered the campus with her identity, she would inevitably be surrounded by a large crowd. Without agents and bodyguards by her side, she couldn't handle it at all. She didn't know if that guy Chen Yin was reliable. The next morning, Chen Yin went out. Although he was a student, as long as he dressed neatly, his looks were not inferior to anyone's. His slightly messy hair was naturally fluffy, paired with a loose t-shirt and jeans, white sneakers, the image of a handsome male college student. Chen Yin didn't drive himself, but took a taxi. Unfortunately, there was a traffic jam. The entire street was full of cars heading towards Linhai University. Because Linhai University's martial science department was also recruiting publicly. Not only current college students, but anyone with supernatural power and of appropriate age could sign up. Joining Linhai University meant receiving systematic training and having the opportunity to cooperate with the authorities. For the vast majority, it was definitely much better than working alone. Damn it, traffic jam and red lights again. The driver cursed, lit a cigarette, and started a conversation with Chen Yin sitting in the back. Young man, are you also going to Linhai University for the recruitment? Yes. If you ask me, young people should learn a skill and live peacefully. What's the use of all? The driver blew a puff of smoke out the window. My second nephew was into that stuff. He thought he was going to become awesome, but yesterday his body was sent back by the enforcers. Chen Yin. Fighting those monsters is anything but easy. Young people are just hot-blooded. Living a peaceful life is the right path. Chen Yin shook his head. Master, there is no peaceful time without someone carrying the burden. Carrying the burden? That's not for little brats like you. At that moment on the crosswalk in front of the car, a little girl carrying a backpack was skipping across the road. Boom. The manhole cover by the roadside flew into the air like a cannonball. Several pitch-black tentacles quickly extended from the manhole, wrapping around the girl's hands and legs, dragging her into the sewer. Alt. The street erupted in deafening screams. Pedestrians fled in panic. Shauka, Shauka. The girl's mother shouted her daughter's name frantically, trying to jump in, but was tightly held back by a male passerby. Let me go. My daughter was taken by the monster. Let me go. Don't act rashly, sister. The driver stared blankly at the scene, probably already scared stiff on the spot. In broad daylight, a monster came out of the sewer and took away a living little girl. Just thinking about it was terrifying. Chen Yin put on a mask and opened the car door. With a swift step, he shot out, forcefully breaking through the crowd, and agilely jumped into the sewer. The driver was bewildered. The young man's movements were too swift, too sudden. Before he could even register what was happening, the boy had already leaped into the sewer. What just happened? I saw a boy jump in. Is he out of his mind? There are monsters down there. People buzzed with chatter, pulling out their phones to film the sewer entrance. Only the mother, who had just lost her daughter, wailed inconsolably nearby. As Chun Yin stepped into the dark, damp sewer, a girl's scream echoed from the depths. The monster was fast, seemingly dragging the girl deeper to devour her. He could not afford to delay. Words: spirit, void, serpent. Arcane syllables burst from Chun Yin's lips. He stepped onto the invisible serpent, using it to give chase. After about 200 meters, he finally spotted the creature. A massive black octopus. Go! The void serpent shot through the air, its strikes snapping the octopus tentacles in 2 passes. The ensnared girl, stung by pain, the octopus, tried to flee. Chun Yin would not allow its escape. He commanded the void serpent to strike again. In moments, dozens of bloody holes riddled the octopus body, and it lay dead. It was done. Chun Yin hurried to the girl's side. Wah wah wah. The girl was still sobbing loudly. Not only had she suffered a terrible fright, but she had also been hurt from the fall. Her pretty little dress was covered in filth, and her fair face was smeared with grime. What child could endure such an ordeal? It's all right. There. Big brother will take you back to your mother. Wah wah. Chun Yin was utterly clueless about comforting a little girl. So he simply held her in his arms, murmuring soothing words as he slowly carried her back. Listen to big brother, it's all over now. We'll be out soon. Chun Yin glanced at the time. He would probably miss picking up Xinyu. He felt a twinge of guilt, but he dared not let the girl suffer any more fright. With his patient comfort, the girl finally stopped crying. Thank you, big brother. She sniffled, looking pitiful and aggrieved. That's a good girl. Soon they neared the sewer entrance. Chun Yin didn't need to guess that a crowd had already gathered above. There would be ordinary citizens, perhaps even law enforcement officers, and a swarm of reporters. If he showed his face, he would certainly be reported. Absolutely not. Appearing on television would inevitably increase the risk of exposure. If Chun Yin's identity were revealed, he would undoubtedly become the focus of the entire world. Countless girls would pursue him obsessively, and to every nation, he would be a threat greater than any nuclear weapon. Big brother will take you only this far. Go on, run that way. The girl ran toward the exit. Chun Yin prepared to leave from another direction as long as he went unnoticed. Uniformed law enforcement officers arrived at the scene, pulling up cordons and isolating the crowd. Reporters, drawn by the commotion, had already gathered. According to witnesses, a little girl was dragged into the sewer by a monster not long ago. A young man believed to be a superhuman has gone down to rescue her. The outcome is unknown. This station will continue to follow up on this story. Please stay tuned. Suddenly an officer shouted, "Look, the child is back." What a... Quick, get her up. Soon the little girl was brought safely to the surface. Though she was filthy, she appeared uninjured. Xiaoko, mommy. Mother and daughter embraced, weeping. Many onlookers felt their eyes sting with emotion. Reporters captured the scene. It is now 9:20. The little girl has been safely rescued and is unharmed. But where is the good Samaritan? The crowd was equally puzzled. Yeah, where did that young man go? Why hasn't he come out yet? He did a good deed and deserves praise. If not for him, this mother and daughter might never have seen each other again. In response to everyone's questions, the little girl told the truth. Her big brother had already left. Sweetie, how about you go to the hospital with the nurse, okay? No, I want to thank him too. Mommy said we must always have a grateful heart. The little girl insisted stubbornly. Everyone was at a loss. They couldn't find the young man anywhere. How could they thank him? Just then the driver rushed forward. I know. That young man was in my cab. He was heading to Linhai University to register. Hearing this, the reporters' eyes lit up. If they could go straight to Linhai University and find that young man for an exclusive interview, it would surely be tomorrow's trending headline. A blockbuster story. Madam, would you like to go with us to Linhai University? You can thank him, and we would like to interview him. All right. Surrounded by reporters, the mother and daughter were bundled into a car speeding off toward Linhai University. Xinyu had waited in vain for Chun Yin. At first, she stood alone by the side gate of Lin University, clutching a heavy suitcase. She didn't attract much attention because she too was wearing a mask, but her aura and figure were far too striking. Dressed in a jasmine white spaghetti-strap dress that accentuated her slender figure and delicate calves, her fair, flawless skin seemed to glow. Her beautiful wavy hair cascaded freely down her back. How could such a beauty walk the streets without being approached? The reason Qin Yu had wanted Chen Yin to pick her up was precisely to avoid being hit on in the ensuing, but Chen Yin hadn't shown up on time. Miss, are you here to register too? Do you need help with your suitcase? No thank you. Qin Yu had to fend off wave after wave of suitors on her own until she was finally recognized. She's Qin Yu. Is that the new female singer Qin? Wow, no wonder she has such an elegant aura. I can't believe she's coming to our university. Ha ha. Quick, take a picture. Tisk, tisk, tisk. With that face, even with a mask on, she puts everyone else to shame. The crowd grew thicker. Qin Yu felt like a monkey under a spotlight, forced to stand there and let people take photos. She pulled out her phone, found Chen Yin's number, and dialed angrily. The number you have dialed is temporarily unavailable. Please try again later. Humph. That liar. After receiving that epic-grade equipment from Chen Yin, last time Qin Yu had felt a bit guilty. So this time she had specially prepared a gift. The gift was an expensive watch, a signed custom edition that even her fans couldn't get their hands on. It was packed in her suitcase. But Chen Yin hadn't even bothered to show up. Well, I guess we really are just a couple in name only. In the end, campus security dispersed the crowd and escorted Qin Yu inside the university. The classroom of martial arts class 1 was packed with over 100 individuals possessing talents, all gathered to undergo the examination. Breaking news. Qin Yu has come to our school. Really? Is it the Qin Yu I'm thinking of? That female singer who rose to fame on her looks? Yeah, it's her. She used to play Calamity too, and now she's become a transcendent, coming to our school for advanced studies in martial arts. Holy crap, I never thought I'd get to be this close to the white moonlight in every man's heart. This is awesome. Hearing this news, Xia Wen couldn't help but furrow. As the campus belle of Lin University, she had always been the center of attention. The number of boys who had pursued her could line up from the cafeteria to the convenience store, yet she always capitalized on her pure single status, rejecting all advances. The feeling of juggling many fish gave her a smug sense of being the center of the universe. It was exhilarating. But now that Qin Yu was coming, that so-called campus belle title would likely change hands. A couple of days ago, Xia Wen had slept with the rich kid Sun Jing to obtain the talent card Wind Mage, successfully becoming a transcendent. She had planned to climb the ranks through Sun Jing, and she couldn't let him slip out of her control. A girl in a white spaghetti-strap dress walked into the classroom. It was Qin Yu. The moment she entered the classroom, fell silent. The boys nearly gouged out their eyes, unable to tear their gaze away from her, as if drawn by a magnet. Holy crap, she's even more beautiful than on TV. Her figure and skin are so well maintained. Is she really a transcendent? No wonder she's the white moonlight of countless men. She's stunning. Xia Wen, the so-called campus belle, instantly dimmed in comparison, like a candle flame before the moonlight, utterly unable to compete. She couldn't help but grit her teeth, because even Sun Jing, who had just slept with her, was practically drooling. Before today, Sun Jing had been one of her suitors. Damn it, she fumed inwardly. But she never expected that Sun Jing would actually walk right up to Qin Yu in front of her. Hello, I'm Sun Jing. My talent is Beast Tamer. A confident smile spread across Sun Jing's face. He believed that just by stating his talent, he would surely capture Qin Yu's attention. Beast Tamer was one of the rare talents. His family had paid a hefty price to acquire this talent, giving him a head start, placing him at the forefront of the era. With family wealth and an outstanding talent profession, he was always a cut above the rest wherever he went. Now that Qin Yu had come to Lin University, wooing her would be a delightful conquest. Who wouldn't want to sleep with the white moonlight of countless men? Oh, unexpectedly, Qin Yu's response was quite cold. At that moment, her heart was filled with endless resentment toward Chen Yin, and she had no mood to engage with others. Sun Jing, doused with cold water, struggled to maintain his composure, forcing a smile. By the way, Xiao Yu, today's test instructor, is a friend of my dad's. If you need anything, just ask me. I can easily take care of it. Oh, no need, thanks. Qin Yu's reply remained indifferent. Only then did Sun Jing walk back with a dark expression, experiencing the sting of a failed flirtation for the first time. Did she really think being a female star gave her the right to be so high and mighty? He swore he'd find a way to get to her. Suddenly, a middle-aged man in military boots strode into the classroom. Thud, thud, thud. His heavy footsteps seemed laden with lead. His camouflage short-sleeve shirt stretched taut over muscular arms, and 2 scars marked his face. A clear sign that he was not to be trifled with. This was a true powerhouse who had battled monsters numerous times. Silence. 2 words plunged the 100-plus students in the room into dead silence. I am Jiang Lai, a talent Qigong master level 35 in the first order, and your executive instructor for this test. Level 35. At those words, the entire class couldn't help but gasp in shock. That level was undoubtedly among the world's elite. The instructor must have slain countless monsters to reach such a high level. A truly formidable figure. Regardless of who you are, since you've decided to enroll in martial arts, you'd better listen up. Roll call. Under the tense atmosphere, the roll call began. Everyone cautiously answered here, not daring to meet the instructor's gaze, afraid of being devoured. Chen Yan. The classroom fell silent. Chen Yan. An eerie silence filled the room. Everyone realized that Chen Yan hadn't arrived. A faint smirk curled at the corner of Xia Wen's lips. This lapdog dared to be late. He was in for it, and that instructor was clearly hot-tempered. Bang! The instructor slammed his palm on the desk, leaving a visible dent in the hard surface. If anyone knows Chen Yan, tell him not to bother coming. Now, when the name Sun Jing was called, the instructor's expression visibly softened. He had been specifically instructed to look after Sun Jing. Just as the roll call ended, a crisp knock sounded from outside the door. Who else could it be but Chen Yan? Chen Yan's gaze immediately shifted, her eyes hiding a flicker of surprise. Sorry, I was delayed by something on the way. Chen Yan said this not to the instructor, but to Chen Yu, apologizing for standing her up earlier. As for the instructor, he paid him no mind. But what greeted him was a furious roar. Who allowed you in? Get out. The deafening voice, like a beast's howl, made everyone tremble violently. Chen Yan was in for it. Serves him right. Since the martial arts program was new, the instructor had to establish his authority. It seemed the instructor was making an example of him, and Chen Yan was destined to be that sacrificial lamb, the unlucky one. Most of the classmates felt a sense of schadenfreude. He was showing off to me before, and now look at him. Xia Wen even let out a laugh, thinking to herself that this man was truly born to be worthless. She had thought that with the game merging with the world, this Shuden might amount to something, but he was still just mud that couldn't be plastered on the wall. She had overestimated him. Just then the broadcast rang out. Announcement: Chen Yan from Martial Arts Class 1 performed a brave act today, rescuing a girl captured by a monster on the road. His courage and selflessness are worthy of emulation by all. This is a special commendation. Announcement: Chen Yan from Martial Arts Class 1 performed a brave act today, rescuing a girl captured by a monster on the road. His courage and selflessness are worthy of emulation by all. This is a special commendation. The broadcast echoed throughout the entire school. The classroom immediately buzzed with chatter. What, Chen Yan saved someone on the road? Holy crap, it's true. Check the trending news quick. Someone immediately pulled out their phone to check the trending topics, and there it was. A news story with rapidly rising heat: girl captured by monster in a sewer, brave youth steps in to rescue, no name left. Below were a series of scene photos, including one of a masked youth, whose build matched Chen Yan's exactly. Chen Yan's tightly furrowed brow gradually relaxed. So, he was late to pick me up, because he was saving someone on the road. The instructor's face darkened, his expression sour. Just then footsteps echoed from the hallway. Come, this is the newly established Martial Arts Class 1. The person you're looking for should be right in there. That kid is always ready to help others. Haha, you media folks should give him a good write-up this time. The principal's voice. Indeed, the principal of Linhai University had arrived. Along with him, he brought a group of reporters, the mother and daughter involved, and even the driver. Only the driver remembered Chen Yan's appearance. His real name was also discovered from the driver's ride-hailing records. They'll go call Chen Yan out first. Please wait a moment, everyone. This young man did a good deed without leaving his name. Quite a commendable character. If a student from his own school performed a heroic act, and the media reported it, it would be extremely beneficial for the school's publicity. The principal was naturally delighted. What's more, among these people were journalists from the official news television station, truly honored guests. Here we are, everyone. As soon as the principal led the group outside the classroom, he saw Chen Yan still standing there and immediately frowned. Why are you standing outside and not going in? Principal, I was late, and the instructor wouldn't let me in, Chen Yan answered truthfully. The instructor inside, upon hearing this, couldn't help but twitch his face twice. The principal didn't know that this was Chen Yan, so his face immediately darkened. Being punished for being late. This was a bad phenomenon, and in front of so many reporters it made the school lose face. Suddenly an exclamation came from behind. It was the taxi driver. It's him. He's the young man who performed the heroic act. At the same time, the little girl being held also recognized the big brother, and timidly called out, "Brother, thank you." The mother hurried over, thanking Chen Yan profusely, even tears welling up. A single stone stirred 1,000 ripples. The reporters could no longer restrain themselves. They immediately took out their cameras and started clicking away. Various flashes illuminated Chen Yan's face. Oh dear, it's over. It seems I'll have to appear on TV after all. Sigh. Since it's unavoidable, I should at least have some other disguise so as not to expose the identity of Buyu. So you're Chen Yan. Good lad. The principal even more absurdly performed a Sichuan opera face change on the spot, beaming and patting Chen Yan on. Chen Yan, your act of bravery, without leaving your name, is worthy of emulation by all students. This is precisely the purpose of our Linhai University's martial arts department. Let those with ability help the weak and maintain peace in our homeland. Today on behalf of the school, I award Chen Yin a bonus of 500 yuan. The principal announced loudly. Immediately applause erupted around them. The students inside the classroom were already dumbfounded. Earlier many had gloated mocking Chen Yin for being late on the first day and being made an example of. But who would have known the twist? It turned out he had been delayed because he was saving someone, thus missing the roll call. Xiao, when seeing Chen Yin so praised, felt extremely uncomfortable, unable to utter a single word, as if ants were crawling all over her body. Chen Yin. That person not long ago had been her devoted admirer. But now he was no longer. Seeing him in his current glory, Xiao was naturally distressed, for she could not bask in his reflected glory, and instead felt a sense of regret for having missed. Yes, she had never thought Chen Yin could be so capable. At this very moment, Chen sadness and grievances had vanished completely. So Chen Yin hadn't been late because of his own fault, but to save someone. This was a good deed, a righteous act. Chen Yu naturally understood and supported it wholeheartedly, so her mood suddenly became incredibly cheerful, even carrying a faint sense of pride. After all, he was her nominal boyfriend. The reporters crowded around and began to question. Why did you leave in such a hurry after saving someone? The reporter from the official television station handed the microphone to him. Chen Yin thought for a moment, then suddenly had an inspiration. Doing good deeds isn't done for the sake of reward. I learned this from my girlfriend. She also anonymously donated to disaster-stricken areas. The reporters were overjoyed upon hearing this. Based on their usual experience, young boys like this would typically be shy in front of the camera, stammering and giving perfunctory answers. Thus, the interview effect would be mediocre, failing to generate much discussion. But this young man named Chen Yin was clearly different. His answers were very thoughtful and had room for expansion. For instance, he had now extended it to his girlfriend, which was definitely a good thing. Xiaowen heard this, and her mind went blank, stupefied. Girlfriend? Impossible. This guy Chen Yin was still chasing me just a few days ago. How could he possibly have a girlfriend now? Then Chen Yin is your girlfriend among the students in the school. Can we meet her? Inside the classroom, Chen Yin's heart suddenly began to race. Chen Yin smiled and said, of course, she's right in the classroom. Swish, swish, swish. Everyone's gaze followed Chen Yin's line of sight. They all fixed on Chen Yu. People's eyes were filled with disbelief. Chen Yu was Chen Yin's girlfriend. This is simply too fantastical. One was a shootin' who had no presence until today, the other was the white moonlight in countless men's hearts. Even novels wouldn't dare write this. The rich second-generation Sun Jing instinctively clenched his fists. The thing he hated most in life was seeing the woman he coveted taken by someone else. Yet when he saw Chen Yu stand up and walk outside, his eyes widened in fury. Xiaowen even more so instinctively tensed up her whole body, watching helplessly as this girl who exceeded her in every aspect walked toward Chen Yin. Each step crushed her pride into pieces. Impossible. How can this be? What does a shootin' like him have to deserve her? Her widened eyes even showed bloodshot streaks. Chen Yu lowered her head, staring at her toes. She was no longer afraid of facing the camera, but simply shy. She hadn't expected Chen Yin to suddenly pull this stunt. Chen Yu. It's really Chen Yu. Oh my god. The reporters were ecstatic. They hadn't expected such a bonus from interviewing Chen Yin. The female singer Chen Yu. This was someone they normally couldn't even get an interview with. And now she had a boyfriend, and it wasn't just a rumor, but solid evidence. How explosive. Miss Chen, when did you start dating? Miss Chen, aren't you afraid this scandal will affect your career? Miss Chen, does your agency know about this? A barrage of questions came like a volley of bullets. In the end, the school's security had to escort the reporters away before the matter finally came to a close. Chen Yin had achieved his goal. He had been exposed as having a girlfriend, which had nothing to do with the emotionless Buyu. But if it were ever discovered, whether it was Yi Hongling or his little housekeeper Xiao Qi, it would lead to a fierce harem conflict. Just after seeing off the outsiders, the principal walked into the classroom with his hands behind his back and berated the instructor harshly. I brought you here to work at Linhai University, not to mess things up. You almost ruined today's good deed, you rascal. After scolding him thoroughly, the principal turned to Chen Yin with a gentle tone. Xiao Chen, don't take today's matter to heart. Prepare well for the upcoming tests. Okay, principal. Let's go to the playground. Including Chen Yin, about 100 people were summoned to the football field, ready for the first martial arts test. The purpose of the test was to assess the students' talents and abilities. Those who excelled could be recruited by the official law enforcement, securing a stable job for life. Average performers would receive professional guidance, including growth advice, equipment selection, and combat training, to cultivate outstanding talents. Those with poor performance would be left to develop naturally. Before today, Chen Yin planned to just go through the motions, pretending to be a low-talent individual to develop freely, which aligned with Buy's style. But just now a reporter had filmed him, and he expected to be featured in a news article soon. He could no longer stay low-key. Thus, Chen Yin could only choose the opposite approach and become high-profile instead. In Calamity, Yu was an extremely low-key person guarding all his information tightly, even refusing to use voice chat, and communicating only through text. Chun Yin intended to create a contrast this time to better conceal his identity. He was prepared to be somewhat serious in the test. Meanwhile, others were secretly scheming. The rich second-generation Sun Jing had connections with instructor Jiang Lai. Taking advantage of a bathroom break, Sun Jing made a call to Jiang Lai's phone. Instructor Jiang, I hope you'll be a bit more thorough with Chun Yin. Don't hold back. Perfect, I don't like that kid either. If possible, it's best to break an arm or leg. Sun Jing revealed a sinister smile. Exiting the restroom, he saw Qin Yu walking alongside Chun Yin, and his hatred deepened. Jiang Lai, having been berated by the principal and losing face and authority on the spot, also blamed Chun Yin. Hanging up the phone, a smirk curled at the corner. The school placed great importance on this test. Besides the principal and leaders, several investors in martial arts were present. It was a talent cultivation project, and the investors were all forward-thinking. The investors dressed in suits and polished leather shoes took their seats in the viewing stand. Among them, one wearing sunglasses and a gray-white suit was an old acquaintance of Chun Yin's, Lu Xingchen. Previously, he was the CEO of Ninruan Real Estate Company, but after losing a billion-dollar project, he was severely reprimanded by Chun Yin's father Chun Huirong. Chun Huirong wanted to remove him from his position, but couldn't withstand his wife's desperate pleas for Lu Xingchen, so he gave his son another chance. This time I will reclaim everything I've lost. Lu Xingchen indeed had a keen eye, setting his next project on talent cultivation, taking the initiative to invest in Lin University to nurture gifted individuals. Chun Yin. Upon spotting that figure in the crowd, Lu Xingchen nearly slammed the table and stood up on the spot. Beneath his sunglasses, his pupils blazed with fury. He never expected Chun Yin to also be part of this martial arts training batch. Well, what a coincidence. My dear little brother. His clenched jaw slowly relaxed, and a smile once again curled at the corner of his mouth. Last time was probably just a coincidence. This time you are in the hands of capital. Let me show you the power of capital. Hopefully our dad won't blame me for crippling you. Boss Lu, is something wrong? The principal asked hastily. It's nothing. Lu Xingchen sat back down, beckoned his secretary over, and whispered, "A million, bribe that instructor to give my dear little brother some proper guidance. The test begins. You'll now be divided into groups of 3 to fight me in turns. Based on your performance, I'll assign you a grade. The highest is grade, the lowest is a grade. The higher the grade, the easier it is to gain government benefits and focused training." After explaining the rules, Jiang Lai abruptly took off his jacket, revealing a muscular physique, clad only in a white vest. His dark, knotted muscles bore scars that hadn't fully healed. The students were all startled. Are you kidding? We have to fight the instructor right away. Even 3 against 1 won't work. I heard this instructor is level 35 with extensive combat experience. He's way too strong for us. Relax, the goal isn't to win, but to showcase our abilities. Everyone just do your best. Then what are we waiting for? Let's team up. Team composition was crucial. A strong teammate could provide more room to shine and attract more favor. Not everyone dared to level up alone in the wild. Humans were social creatures, more sought organizations, stable jobs, and professional training. Safer options that didn't risk being killed by monsters at every turn. Brother Chin, want to team up? My talent is a boxer, and I'm already level 15. Count me in, Yin, go. We've always been tight. I want to follow you. Brother Chin, can you take me too? In an instant, Chun Yin became the center of attention. Having rescued someone from monsters, everyone knew he had skill, and he was immediately surrounded by the crowd. Sorry, I have a boyfriend. I'm going to team up with him. Qin Yu directly refused. Admittedly, using her boyfriend as a shield was incredible. Sorry, I have a boyfriend. I'm going to team up with him. Qin Yu directly refused. Admittedly, using her boyfriend as a shield was incredibly effective. As expected, the guys immediately lost interest and left, though a couple of perverts still muttered things like, even better if she has a boyfriend. Xiaowen, once the campus bell, was now ignored. In terms of looks and figure, she was completely overshadowed by Qin Yu. In terms of strength, she had only recently obtained a talent profession card from Sun Jing through improper means with no practical combat experience. Who would seek her? Once the center of everyone's attention, she now stood like a lonely weed no one wanted, isolated in a corner. She gazed at Chun Yin, her eyes reflecting her former self. An obscure, unremarkable otaku had become the most popular person. Yet she herself was now despised. She couldn't accept it. Why was this happening? Why? He was just her simp. Suddenly a pang of regret arose in her heart. If only she hadn't humiliated Chun Yin back then, but instead kept stringing him along, giving him a few sweet crumbs. But Xiaowen quickly dismissed that thought, wiggling her hips towards Sun Jing, habitually putting on a pitiful, innocent act. Jinggu, do you have room for one more? Can you take me along? Sun Jing frowned. You think you're worthy? For a rich second generation like him, only unattainable women were the best, like Qin Yu. But those he had already obtained lost most of their appeal, like Xiaowen. You. Xiaowen's eyes were full of disbelief as she grabbed Sun Jing's clothes. You said you'd protect me forever. How I say that to every woman in bed. The people around snickered, a scumbag and a scumbag together. Stay away, don't jinx it.